Boys in the back. Boys.
What is good? We are back with another episode of The Boys in the Back. It's a matching Thursday here at Uncrowned Studios. Thursday, May 28th. We both got the black shirts out, and we are looking quite good, I have to say, if I do say so myself. I am 1/3 of The Boys in the Back. Yes, that is correct. 1/3, Mr. Connor Burks. Join alongside me, as always, Mr. New York Rick.
Fucking hell.
Mr. Eric Jackman. Nick. New York Nick.
No, we're not adopting
Emphasis
that.
on the K in there. And we are happy to be joined once again by the final third of The Boys in the Back, Mysterious Frank. It's good to have you back, brother. How you feeling?
It's good to be back.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Those dulcet tones coming through my AFB, it feels good, man. It feels real good.
I'm glad. I missed you guys. Thank you for holding down the fort last week. To everyone who called, left comments, I appreciate it. And let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll, man. I mean, I think we need to get the elephant in the room out of the way. Not with us, but I think it's actually on the other side of the door. Frank, you are a free man right now. Me and New York Rick are not. Well, I was getting ready to take my typical bathroom break right before the show starts. You know, we're gonna hunker down here for 2-3 hours. Maybe you want to make sure you empty out the old bladder before we get the show underway. And I tried to leave the studio, and I could not. I don't know if it's getting picked up by the microphone right now, but there is someone actively trying to bust down the door on the other side of the studio because we are locked in. We are locked in this studio. I was like, yo, man, what's going on? The door won't open. Rick's like, huh? Rick comes over, starts pulling on it, tearing on it. I'm like, yo, Frank, Andy, Jordan, the studio door will not open. And then Frank.
I just saw daylight for a second.
Frank on the other side came over, tried to figure it out. Eventually had to bail. And it looks like they got it. Let's go. The door is open. So wow. What a crazy start here. Oh, we can't thank you enough. There's 5 guys out in that hallway getting that door open for us. We are free men once again. Wow, the rush of cold air, the freshness of daylight. This is unbelievable. No, I'll make it.
You want to take a break real quick?
I'll make it without the bathroom break. We already started the show. Shout out to Tyler, to Chris. I don't even know who else was out there.
George is out there.
A whole search party was put out for the boys in the back. But they were able to get it. That was scary moments, folks. That was scary moments.
We were going to have to be in here forever. We just never stop streaming. We will continue to stream the boys in the back for as long as we're locked in here.
You know you could take a life insurance policy out on someone within like 5 minutes? Because damn, that's the quickest I've ever had that happen.
I was laughing very much so about it. I was like, we'll go to the bathroom in the corner. We got some snacks in here. We'll survive. And then someone was like, hopefully there's no fire. And I was like, hopefully there's no fire.
No, this is not my fault.
That door was not budging.
But who'd be safer than us if there was? I mean, the door is steel. Like, it would be fine.
The fire on the inside of
in the studio here?
We would just have to fade to black, and then my voice would come over and be like, well... The boys in the back are
You guys have the window. Just get out through the window.
We could jump out the window. There's some air vents that I'll climb through, like John McClane style. It's fine.
I was getting a little bit worried this was a ploy to take down the boys in the back. This was an inside job.
It was Frank on the way.
Yeah, Frank was actually so upset that we shit on him about not being here last week that this was the ploy. All right. Well, I guess we can get the train back on the tracks here at 1:03 Eastern Standard.
That was one of those that was super funny to us, and whoever's watching this is not laughing at all because they don't have the visual of the people just like outside the door trying to get in.
Like the door was like shaking, like there was like a giant monster on the other side trying to get in. You could see like little cracks of daylight as we're trying to intro the show here. Yeah, that was crazy, though. That was crazy. I know it wasn't a ploy to bring down the boys in the back, though, because, you guys love us. I have to say, congratulations to the fans. Congratulations to us. We've been begging you for it. We've been pleading. We've been trying to bribe you for it, but we reached 200 plus 5-star reviews on Spotify. The new feed is up and running. Now we just need like 7 more on Apple Podcasts, and then we'll
7 more
there. Just if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, just go drop us a 5.
Even if you don't, just get Apple Podcasts, download it, and leave us a 5-star. That's all we care about.
And of course, if you're listening on Spotify, you know what to do. Drop the 5-star for the last time. You guys let us meet our goal. Let's read a few reviews and then get on with the show here. Just a few to have. Ollie Hall says Frank had to take the day off to apologize to his mom for stating publicly he kissed her ass. Frank, is that actually true?
Not at all. I not apologetic for that at all.
I think that makes it worse.
The double down is...
No. I'm sorry I kissed your ass. I'm not sorry I brought it up to thousands of people on the internet. I accept the fact that it was a horrible mistake, and now everyone knows.
What else we got? Love it. Actually, you're terrible. I was just listening, and your shameless groveling for 5-star reviews and follows was pathetic. Oh, who am I kidding? Love it. Love you guys. Keep it up. Look, the groveling has finally come to an end. Rate, review, subscribe. Don't make sure you go out there and do that. But the public groveling has officially ended. We got to the number we were going to. Just trying to start up a feed. Started from the bottom. I think we did that. But yeah, the groveling's over.
But leave a 5-star review.
Yeah, 5-star review. J Durbin 1 says, good times. If you're having a bad day, this podcast is guaranteed to lift your spirits and make you laugh. Listening just feels like having a good time with your friends. Keep it up, BITB. We appreciate that, and we fully plan to do so, despite the plans of the inside job here at Yahoo Studios, locking the boys in the back, attempting the... Do I smell smoke? The plan was thwarted before it could come to fruition. So shout out. Thank you so much for everyone that left a review. If you haven't yet, Spotify, Apple Podcast, rate, review, subscribe. Help the boys out. It's good for the algorithm. All that. Isn't that what they say?
And thank you.
The algorithm. And thank you. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Let's get into some news and notes around the world of combat sports. And yesterday, a big topic of discussion.
Yes.
UFC 329. Tickets went on sale for the Fight Club members. So if you pay, I believe it's $99 a year at this point, you join the UFC Fight Club. They send you a T-shirt. You get early access to tickets, everything like that. I've actually been a part of it before, have used it to purchase tickets. It is helpful. And you get
access to the pre-sale. That's before the pre-sale. So there's
Correct.
a pre-sale period. You get access even before that, which is a good perk for not a lot of money. That's a decent little thing for them to have.
Yeah, and they send you a T-shirt and like a couple other things. Like it's really not a bad deal, and it's not a bad deal for instances like this where tickets are going to sell out fast for guys like Conor McGregor. I'm sure the Sphere went quick, things like that. But man, a major point of discussion with this was just how expensive these ticket prices were. Obviously, a lot of these are now hitting the resale market as well, and they're going to do the whole public sale. But the tier list someone put out, and I've seen a few. This is from Tickets Help 1, Ticket_Help 2022. UFC 329 ticket prices, the return of Conor McGregor. Highest listed price for front row, $43,050.
Wow.
Cheapest floor, $4,110. Cheapest lowers, $1,226. Cheapest uppers, $622.
Yeah, $622 to get in the door.
$622 to get in the door is insane, and people are willing to pay it. I know that this was just the pre-sale. This isn't the full $20,000 at T-Mobile or anything yet, but they sold out like that.
There's no doubt in my mind that this upcoming pre-sale that I believe starts sometime this afternoon is going to sell out. There's no doubt that once they release the full tickets, that this event is going to sell out. Conor McGregor, we can continue to talk about Conor McGregor, and there will be some people who will say, is he still that guy? Is he still relevant? We get signs like this, right? We're not going to have a pay-per-view number, so that's not going to be a metric that we're able to use anymore. But we get signs like this every so often where it's like the tickets for a Conor McGregor fight go on sale, and it reminds you once again that he is different than everybody else in this sport when it comes to marketing, his drawing power, his ability to get people to want to commit to watching his fights.
The all-time highest grossing live gate at T-Mobile Arena is $55.4 million for the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight back in 2017.
It definitely won't touch that.
That is fucking
That's an insane number. Yeah.
Khabib Conor did 17.1.
I think it will beat that.
I think it'll beat that. I think it'll go over 20 million.
I agree.
Because if you look at it, we went on Game Time. Shout out to Game Time. They're obviously on resale and everything like that.
By the way, use BITB if you ever use Game Time.
You're going to need the code BITB if you're going to UFC 329. Cheapest ticket on here is still over $1,000. $1,217 on resale.
Yeah. And this is not the full scope, right? Soon we're going to have people buying for pre-sale today, people putting it on the secondary market, and then general public tickets, people buying those, putting it on the secondary market. This is going to be a fascinating thing to kind of track and a reminder again of what Conor McGregor brings to the UFC business and like the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't think these ticket prices are going to come down that much. Like,
No.
we've seen the World Cup tickets, and there's such a runway leading into that. And like, I think there's sort of like we haven't had the World Cup in the U.S. in all these years, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I think those tickets are going to drop down as we get closer to the event. For Conor McGregor, I don't think they're going to go down. He actually reacted to someone saying that there was only one singular seat left on Ticketmaster, which I think has now been purchased up. It's completely sold out, and he just quote tweeted with a laughing emoji.
Yeah, and he's not unaware. I saw him also retweet something somebody posted about, like, just as a reminder who Conor McGregor is, here's all the pay-per-views of his last couple fights and how big box office he is, and there's no doubt about it. Intern Josh, in real time, Frank, hit the breaking news. Intern Josh, who, by the way, will be coming to the studio starting soon. Shout out to Intern Josh. Can't wait to see him. He's in line for the UFC 320. Have you seen the Slack yet or not?
I have just seen it.
I was going to make you guess. But he's in line for the UFC 329 presale. 120,000 people in the queue ahead of him. Who knows how many total people are in the queue, because he might be somewhere in the middle. Maybe he's toward the end. Even if the smallest number was 120,000 people, it's absolutely insane. It tells you that the demand for this is astronomical. And because of the limited nature of it, because of the fact that, quite frankly, like, we will probably get two more Conor McGregor UFC fights. We might only get one more. Who knows how this goes? Like, if this is the last time, there's a huge scarcity around Conor McGregor in the UFC. There's a huge scarcity of opportunities that you're going to have to see this guy fight, considering how long ago the last time that he fought was, and how long the time before that was. The number of times that Conor McGregor is going to be headlining a card is unknown and scarce. And so, as you said, like, I don't think you're going to see ticket prices going down. I think you're going to see more likely completely sold out, primary market, completely sold out direct from the vendors, and then a huge secondary market that probably starts to get snatched up pretty quickly as well. So, massive.
Okay, to your point about McGregor and the scarcity and the pay-per-view buys and everything, he has the top 5 UFC pay-per-view buys of all time, and then 8 of the top 10.
Because he has the 2 boxing, yeah.
Well, I'm saying 8 of the top 10 UFC pay-per-views. The other 2 is Usman Masvidal, which took place at like peak COVID. There really wasn't much else for people to do. And then UFC 100 in that top 10 as well. Everything else is Conor McGregor is on the card. Our guy Josh said he was 100 what? 25?
120. There's 120,000 people ahead of him.
Which obviously makes it impossible for you to be able to get tickets, because
unless somebody gets there and does not buy them, you will.
T-Mobile Arena, you would need 100,000 people to
say no,
not buy them. I know you're paying. U.S. Open tickets, a great tournament that takes place here in New
a lot of fun.
City. Love it. Love going to it. Have been the last like 5 or 6 years. Tickets went on sale today. They went on sale at noon. As the clock went from 11:59:59 to noon, 12:00. I got on. I have the screenshot to verify. Got on Ticketmaster. You are now in the queue. 336,309. Sat around for 5 to 10 minutes just seeing what happened, and it lowered down maybe like 200 spots.
Of those people who are just buying tickets, and you'll never even sniff it.
Could never even, dude, it's just Arthur Ashe holds 25,000 people.
Yeah, those are gone.
It's just like, we're getting to a point where it isn't just Conor McGregor. Like, we always talk about, like, UFC is rising, everything like that. Conor McGregor is going to be the premier event for the UFC that you're going to be able to buy tickets to this summer. Obviously, the White House is the premier event, but, like, people aren't going to be able to go to that. It's across all tickets. Like, it is just getting insane. We have a couple of other ticket maps here. The New York Knicks are in the NBA Finals, which is just an insane amount. I mean, I'm seeing some 20,000, some 37,000s, 41,000s. Cheapest ticket on Game Time right now, NBA Finals, Madison Square Garden, 3,256, if I'm reading that right.
Yeah. My brother-in-law, Ryan, shout out Ryan, just plopped down $5K to get tickets.
$5K?
Yeah, $5K.
Per ticket?
He's going solo. He's flying in for it.
Holy shit.
But he just plopped down $5K. Yeah. It's crazy. It is nuts.
Yo, $5,000.
Yep.
It's not just sports. Ariana Grande is performing at Barclays Center, which is the cheaper. Like, this isn't even MSG. Cheapest ticket I see up there is $735, and that does not look like a good seat. That
No.
looks like you're borderline sitting behind the stage.
Yeah, that's a horrible seat.
So I guess if like ticket prices are just like this across all events these days, I'm going to the World Cup at the end of June. It's $900 per ticket.
Yeah.
It's just like, is it
We've
worth
accepted
it if
a
you want to
reality.
go see Conor McGregor? Like, do you just have to accept the reality that like you have to take a fucking loan out to see your favorite artists and athletes?
But this is why it's so expensive, is because people are willing
Yep.
to pay it. As
Yep.
soon as you stop
Yep.
paying,
Yep. You're right.
you'll just keep going up.
You're right, because like everyone I'm seeing online is just like, I can't believe it's this expensive. We're never going to be able to go to these
Sold
events.
out
My,
in
my sport
seconds.
is so cooked.
They're gone.
The second it goes on. Josh is 120,000th in line for a 20,000 seat arena.
Yeah. It made me think of two things. One is the point Frank just raised, which is if we are all complaining about the prices of tickets but continue to buy tickets, nothing will change, right? It's the same thing I say about UFC card quality. Everybody complains about UFC card quality. It's not what it used to be. But then the viewership on that and the ticket sales on that are not commensurate with an inferior product. They're commensurate with a very healthy product. They're commensurate with something that is growing. And so there's incongruity there. The incongruity between this product is not what it used to be and I'm still consuming it at the same or a higher rate than I used to is going to continue to raise those ticket prices. As far as Conor and this fight specifically, to me, the scarcity is the selling point, right? As I said, I don't know how many more Conor McGregor fights there are going to be. Conor McGregor fights are an event. Conor McGregor fights are not just, I want to go see, my favorite fighter compete on a card. He is different than everybody else. And so these ticket prices are not shocking to me. And quite frankly, if I was a fan out there, right? If I was somebody in the buying position for these tickets, I'd be looking at this ticket the same way I'd be looking at a Knicks finals ticket, which is, I don't know when I'm going to see this again. I'm willing to pay whatever. As in contrast to like, hey, it's UFC 333 and it's headlined by whoever,
Let's just say it's Alexander
Volkanovski. But I'm paying half what the Conor ticket is, 3/4 of what the Conor ticket is. I feel like I'm getting better value on the Conor McGregor experience. I feel like I'm getting better value on not to say that I don't want to watch Volk fight, not to say that he should, not that they get any cut of the tickets anyway, but that the fighters are worthy of the people being in the arena for them, right? Volk in Australia is an incredible experience. But if you're comparing value, if you're comparing what the experience is going to be as a fan, 10 times out of 10, I'm looking for what is the once in a lifetime thing? What is the thing that I can attend that I'm never going to go to again versus, hey, it's just a run of the mill, maybe my favorite fighter, but maybe this is the 5th time I've seen them. I don't know that I'm plopping down that money. So all things considered, this would probably be the one I'd want to go to as a fan.
Yeah,
and at that price.
The question posed is like, is it worth it? But I guess it's just all on your desire to go see this.
Yeah.
Retail, that means face value, $622.
Yeah.
Nosebleeds. That's crazy.
To be in the arena for something you might not see.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Yeah. So it looks like you're going to be paying well over $1,000 to get into that event, no matter what. Unless you snag up some face values, you're going to be buying it on the resale market. Just going away to looking at other sites as well. I mean, the cheapest on this site is $1,200.
Stupid question.
Yeah, man.
Broken toe, Conor doesn't make it. Do they refund these tickets?
Yes, UFC tickets are typically subject to change, but refunds offered if the main event changes.
Got it.
And so when you're somebody who bought it on the secondary market, that's obviously a little bit of a dicier situation because then you have to unlist it and try and get the refund or try to make the gamble that somebody did it.
Enjoy Armin Saruki and Max Holloway.
Well, somebody
$1,200.
did put out there on Twitter, and I didn't grab it. Somebody put out the price when Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler was headlining 303, and then put out the price when it was Alex Pereira versus Khalil. What was the fight that we ended up with instead of Conor and Chandler?
Alex versus Yuri too.
Alex versus Yuri. And so they put up the price. It was less, but it wasn't as less as I thought it was going to be. Like there's still people that will be rabid enough for the UFC to probably go to this event. But I do imagine that at the price that they're charging, at the scale that this is going to be, because of how ticket prices have even continued to drastically rise just in the overall, not just the UFC, but in the meta of
Everywhere.
like ticket live events and sports. I imagine that people will be hunting for refunds, but I also think all signs are pointing to Conor McGregor fighting. Like, I don't think that we're going to potentially run into this issue. I have a feeling he'll be motivated to make it to the state.
I know everything's getting more expensive, but has anything gotten more expensive than tickets?
Gas?
Yeah, I guess. But even gas, like, it's only up like, it's only like doubled in price. Tickets have like quintupled.
Yeah, tickets are crazy, and beyond that, the secondary market aspect of it, the scalpers and hawks that are buying up all these tickets to then resell them at 4 or 5 times face value, like that entire MSG seat map of people just trying to make a big buck, make a quick buck.
How many people of the 120,000 in front of Josh do you think were actually real people?
Enough of them.
Just UFC fans, just being like, I just want to go see Conor McGregor. And how many were fucking scalping bots, just like?
I think a lot of those people were real, but I think the bots are better. I think the bots logged on faster, and so they're ready to get those tickets. It's a dirty game.
It's
really
dirty
just
game.
a dirty game.
To your point, if you want to spend the money, you're also getting a great card. Benoit Saint-Denis, Paddy Pimblett, Corey Sandhagen, Mario Bautista, Gable Steveson. Now, here's the real question. Is $1,200 worth it for you to see Gable Stevenson's UFC debut? You can leave after that. Beat the traffic, bro. You got to see Gable Steveson versus Elisha Ellison.
That's very funny. Beyond that, this is the most stacked Conor McGregor card we've had. This is typically the quintessential Conor McGregor UFC card is like Conor McGregor versus opponent and not much else. Like there was a time where it was like the John Jones card and the Conor McGregor card were not buoyed by a lot of great fights. This is a great fight card from top to bottom.
It actually like really is. Tracy Cortez versus Kong Wang, Robert Whittaker versus Nikita Krylov, Kai Kamaka versus Luke Riley, Cody Garbrandt versus Adrian Yanez, Cody Durden versus Ode Osborne, Brennan Royval versus Lonnie Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
It's a fucking solid card.
It's a good card.
And then obviously you have Conor and Max at the top. It's also International Fight Week. I had such a blast at International Fight Week last week, and a lot of the events surrounding the actual card are free. So if you want to see Conor McGregor fight, I could see people making the justification for it. I don't think the ticket prices are going to go anywhere because I think, to Frank's point, people are just going to keep paying them.
100%. There will be a point where they stop. I don't think we're anywhere near that point.
Hey.
When you think about like some of the events we looked at, the rabidness of the fan base for Ariana Grande, for the Knicks, the New York Knicks, who we, obviously we live it through Ariel every second that, we're on air. But like these fan bases are not getting any less fervent. They are foaming at the mouth to pay these prices because they have to see it. The demand is not going to go down. What's eventually going to happen is they're going to price people out to the point that their fans can't afford it anymore, right? You can't do this forever. There are not going to be enough fans. Like these Knicks fans, they're going to one of the games. Can they go to 2 at those prices? Can they go to 3? Can they go to the series? Like we're getting to the point that it's just a one-time experience. We will reach a point in tickets where it's like the fans can afford one, or certain fans just can't even afford it at all and can't go. And so once it starts creeping higher and higher and higher, they'll have to bring it back to make it sustainable. Well, I don't think we're near that point yet, though. They're going to continue to rise.
We don't know what's going to happen with Conor McGregor and Max Holloway. We do know that he has one more fight on his UFC contract. Could it be against one of the biggest rising stars? Ilia Topuria was sitting down with Vic Blends and discussed the potential of that maybe happening depending on how Conor McGregor's fight goes. Do we have a quote card for it? There it is. Ilia said, I think Conor is going to win. They fought once and he won. Who do I want to win? And the one that suits me best is Conor. If he wins and then has another fight, we could end up having that fight. He also talked about he looks good in training, yada, 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 XYZ. Do you think we ever see Ilia Topuria versus Conor McGregor?
I don't, but I do find Ilia's confidence in Conor interesting. Like he seems pretty. Like Ilia Topuria is a pretty straight shooter, right? Ilia Topuria is not a guy who's just gonna like blow smoke. And he's talked about Conor in the past and had sometimes kind, sometimes unkind. Like he also in that interview kind of talked about his Mount Rushmore and said that Conor's in his Mount Rushmore and other things like that. He seems pretty sure that Conor McGregor is going to beat Max as somebody who had faced Max. I find that fascinating from a guy who I think to be pretty smart and pretty analytical in the fight game. Now, granted, it could be motivated by the idea of like that helps him if Conor wins and then he sells a fight with him. But I'm taking that at face value and interested in Ilia Topuria's take on it. I just don't think, actually, I don't think. There is no world where Conor McGregor will get a title opportunity on the last fight of his deal. One, I don't think he's going to be fighting at 55 anytime soon. I don't think there's a world where he can even get down to 55 and fight Ilia Topuria at this point in his career. He seems to be a 170er at bare minimum. And two, he will not be fighting for a title in his final UFC fight. Now, if they renegotiate and he gets re-signed, all bets are off. There's crazier things that would have happened than Conor McGregor versus Ilia Topuria. You could really put Ilia Topuria into outer space with the level of stardom he would have by beating Conor McGregor. But I don't expect Conor McGregor to re-sign before fighting out that last fight of the contract. So it would not be a champion.
Yeah, I just can't imagine Ilia and Conor McGregor getting in the cage together. I do feel like from Ilia's standpoint, it's just kind of angling for the potential of a fight. Like just playing the business side of it, you would make so much money. You would get so over in terms of stardom. I just think he's just kind of talking the talk business. I don't think we're going to see Ilia versus Conor McGregor.
We got an update from intern Josh.
Oh, let's hear it.
In the cart right now.
Oh, shit.
Last row in the arena. $1,000 a pop.
Okay.
2 tickets.
First of all, we have to talk about how 120,000 person queue. This is our guy Josh Markowitz, who is trying to get UFC 329 tickets. He's been doing incredible work for us, but he's giving us live updates in the Slack right now. 16 minutes ago, about 120,000 people in front of me. So we wiped that away. He made it to the cart. 2 tickets. Last row. So the absolute tippy top of the entire arena, $2,453.46. So $1,227 a piece. For the absolute back against the wall nosebleeds.
Yeah, crazy stuff. That's a no from me.
The good news is the price of that ticket does include $1 to support amateur unarmed combat in Nevada.
Good to see. On the $2,400 expense, the $1 going.
I don't know. I don't know if that's worth it, man. 2,500 bones just for the get-in price.
Here's my
We're
thing.
not talking about the food, the beers, the travel, the hotels, everything to do that.
My overall
change my
sentiment,
tune.
my number one sentiment, my overall overarching umbrella sentiment is, yes, it is worth it from the perspective that, again, this is scarce. This is going to be a big event. This is going to be something that in the memory banks you'll want to say you were at. From a economics perspective, it's hard for me to advise anybody who's like, Josh is in college, for somebody to be like, this is the best way to spend it, right? My yes is if you have the means to spend that.
Dude, $2,500 and then like, let's just say like you were going on a normal trip. You would need to Uber to the airport.
Yep.
Airport, you're going to pay $600 for a round trip flight to Vegas, like on the regular.
Maybe 400 if you're lucky.
You're not just going for just Saturday. So let's call it at minimum Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 nights in a hotel in Vegas. That's going to run you $1,000.
Yep.
Flights, $1,600. We're almost at $5,000 as is. And then however much money you're going to spend in Las Vegas for a weekend trip.
Nuts.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's not worth it. I've updated my scorecard. It's not worth it.
If you got the disposable income.
If you're doing this as a Conor McGregor fan, what if he loses?
Nah, you still want to be there. That's every sporting event if your team loses, right? I mean, how's that different than if you go to a Georgia game? They could lose.
I'm probably not going to a Georgia game if Georgia's plus 385.
Is that the actual odds? Is he plus 385 right now?
I think at one point he got that bad. I mean, I think I saw Max at like a minus 551 point. Sorry, plus 275 right now. There is one book that has him at
Ilya is about to
310.
take that to the bank. Ilya's about to slam that. Oh no, actually, UFC athletes can't bet it.
Yeah, good point. Good so yeah, man, Josh.
I don't know, Josh.
At least you made it through the queue. All right, so I actually wonder if he made it through the queue because so many people got to the cart and were like, fuck that.
Yeah, like I can't afford it. Also, how many bots, right? I don't know if they do this with Ticketmaster, but on the Nike, like on the sneakers app for Nike, when you're in line for a drop, there's like a moment, there's a loading screen where they're like, "We're kicking out the bots right now. We'll get back to you and let you know if you're still in the line." Josh saying here, as a ticket reselling scumbag like myself, is it worth it?
I don't think that was for air.
Why? Why not?
No, man, you got to sell at face value. Come on.
No, what? What are you, crazy?
He says kidding, but I am going to resell them.
I mean, that's not a bad play.
How much more are you going to make? They're already charging you resale prices.
Well, we were looking at the map. Again, the scarcity is going to be the key here, right? As we get closer to the event. Look, this is the fascinating part of the business, in my opinion. Also interesting, like, Conor McGregor, hopefully, we were talking about his contract, right? We were talking about the death of pay-per-view and that Conor McGregor would have had to negotiate a new contract in order to compensate him properly for fighting. One would hope that somebody like Conor McGregor could get a little cut of the gate of this event, a little cut of, that whatever $25-30 million that they're going to make on the gate for this. But he's probably the only one. He's the only one who could really command this. And as we see in the exercise, like, he's the only one who sells out like this.
Back against the wall. That's like when we go to UFC events and we're sitting in the upper deck and people are like, "Damn, you broke ass, can't believe it." It's like, dude, we paid $350 for these. Like, it's like, this is not cheap to go to these events anymore. And like a Conor McGregor one is definitely not going to be the one that you're going to save a couple bones going to. That's
in Seattle, some people were like, "I didn't want to say hi because I didn't think it was you because this is a fucking broke boy seat, you bitches."
We were sitting lower level at the MVP event and people were just like, "Damn, Ariel fucked y'all, man.
That's tough, huh?
Yeah, damn, you're trying to save a couple pennies." It's like, dude, we're like 14 rows back, man. Chill out on it. Like UFC Atlanta last year, my friends were like, I had to convince my friends to go to a UFC event. I was like, "Oh, come on, it'll be great, blah, blah, blah." It was not great. 6 decisions on the main card. It was fucking ass. And they paid like $280 a piece for it, for upper level. They were like, "Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Connor. I don't think I'm going back to that shit." I was like, "Yeah.
I don't blame you.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you, man. It was tough." But we'll see. The most confident thing I will say today is that event will be sold out.
Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. There is not going to be an unsold seat.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
it don't matter how much we bitch and moan about the ticket prices. That place will be completely full, and it will be wild. Let's roll along. A lot of talk on the Twitter streets and MMA media right now over Dana White's comments to Rolling Stone about UFC contracts. They did a printed article and a video interview, and in the printed article talked about the comparison to WNBA now agreeing to a new salary minimum of around $270,000 a year, which is reportedly more than a journeyman MMA fighter earns. Reporter asks, "Do you ever see a future where a UFC fighter can immediately make a living wage?" Dana responds, "Fighter pay has gone up every year and it will continue to go up as long as we continue to be successful. But to compare it to the WNBA, that's ridiculous. First of all, if you come into the UFC, let's say you sign a 3-fight deal, we're going to find out if you belong in the UFC. I should pay you $370,000 to see if you belong in the UFC?" Now, a lot of people are poking holes in several different ways against this. A couple that I've seen is this used to be a company that was comparing itself to the NFL, was going to be bigger than soccer, was making these massive statements about this is the future of sport. It is going to be the biggest sport in the world, and now it's getting comparisons to the WNBA newest contracts, and it's just like, no. Are you crazy? Like, to compare us to the WNBA is ridiculous. And then the second part of it is him saying, "You sign a 3-fight contract. We got to find out if you're cut out for the UFC."
Yeah, I have major issues with this mentality for a few reasons. One, to touch on the first point you made, right? we're the biggest fastest growing global sport. They also glow at times, but we're the fastest growing global sport, and we're going to be bigger than soccer and blah blah blah. To then say, in point of comparison to the WNBA's contracts, like we're not the WNBA, as if that was disrespectful. The WNBA contracts are higher to the point that they're making, and secondarily, the WNBA is notorious for underpaying. This is why we've had this long, extended kind of negotiation period with the WNBA, because the players did not believe that they were being paid enough. That's point 2 on that. Like, the WNBA is the league that is most notorious for underpaying, and you are paying under for entry-level athletes in your promotion. And then number 3, which is a tangential point to that, is WNBA athletes have a union and have negotiating rights and make more of the revenue of a much less popular sport. WNBA is popular, but it is not making them nearly the number of dollars that the UFC is making, and the athletes get a much larger share of that. So all weird kind of points by Dana White when it comes to the actual like dollars and cents comparison to the WNBA, which is to say, this is an example of why it's pretty shameful what the fighters are making when you're comparing it to the WNBA.
The reporter in the interview says, what does a person coming off a Dana White Contender Series that's making their debut in the UFC typically make? And he said, it's, between 10-10 and 15-15.
Yeah,
obviously
win and show.
Yeah, win and show model. And then we got to find out if they're UFC caliber. Isn't that the point of Dana White Contender Series? To scout these guys to find out if they're UFC caliber, and then you're essentially saying like, yeah, man. So like a lot of these guys that you're making that you're watching that are making their debuts, we don't even know if they're UFC level. We just have to watch and find out.
It's an indictment on. There's a few things there. It's an indictment on what you said, which is signing athletes to the UFC that may not be UFC caliber, right? We need to see if they're UFC caliber. Well, are they fighting on the UFC's broadcast? Are they on UFC promotional handles? Are they involved in the UFC product? If so, that makes them UFC athletes by default, right? Are they going to the UFC PI? After you get a contract on Dana White's Contender Series or have a contract with Dana White's Contender Series, if you're able to walk into the UFC PI and use those facilities, if you show up on the UFC social media handle, if you show up on Paramount for the UFC broadcast, there's not a perk that you have that a UFC fighter, or there's not a perk that a UFC fighter has that you don't have at that point, other than the pay. You are a UFC fighter by all intents and purposes. So the kind of like incongruity with, we don't know if they're UFC level. Well, that's what the fuck this is for. Like, that's what it is. Like, I'm confused at what you even mean by that. But even worse than that, this idea that like, well, they have to prove it before they get the contract is like mind-boggling to me too. Like, does the NFL, when you're the number 1 pick in the NFL, do they go, you know what, we have a contract for you, but we're not going to pay that contract until we know that you can throw the football? Whatever your contract is, rookie signing contract, or let me get to the second point later. Rookie first pick in the NFL draft. You've been signed to the Los Angeles Rams, let's call it. You're on the team. If I don't know that you're an NFL player, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're good, bad, whatever. You are going to earn your contract. That's how this works. Now, in the NFL, they're typically not guaranteed, and you have to have signing bonuses. Let me use a different sport then. Forget the NFL. Let's use the NBA. Guaranteed contracts. Number 1 draft pick in the NBA. Signed. It does not matter if you can play basketball or not. It doesn't matter if you're shit. It doesn't matter if you're the best player of all time. You're going to get that contract because the assumption of risk is on the promotion or on the team in the NBA case. We've signed you. We think you're good. Here's what we're going to pay you. The idea that like we don't know if we want to pay this person big money until they have proven themselves is beneficial from you from a business perspective, but it's horrible for an athlete. Like, this doesn't make any sense from an athlete perspective. And the whole point of that question, the whole point of that conversation was around assurances for the athlete, not for the promotion.
And it doesn't allure the best.
It doesn't
athletes.
draw in.
It doesn't draw people to be like, I want to go be a UFC fighter because I can make big bucks and I can be a huge superstar. You get that 1 in a million chance that you're going to be a Conor McGregor. And I'm not calling for this comparison, a direct comparison to the WNBA, and be like, they should be on a 270K win show, 270K right off rip when they get into the UFC. Like,
I'll go that far.
that would be a little bit egregious. I think that is too much.
They have enough money.
I think people who are making sure they can pay it. I think people who are making their debuts, obviously, they're much further down the card. They're not the drawing power. Now, you can also say the people 4 spots down the bench on the Minnesota Lynx are also not the drawing power of the WNBA, but they get this minimum contract. But to sit there and be like, well, fighter pay keeps going up. Fighter pay goes up every single year, but we're still at 10-10, 15-15 for people debuting. So even if, let's sign a 3-fight contract, even if you're on a 15-15 and you go 3-0 in your first year in the UFC, you have 3 wins under your belt, you didn't even make $100K.
No.
And then you got to pay your coaches and you got to do the training and everything like that. You got to divvy that all up. You're left making like $60K after having an incredibly successful year in the highest level promotion in MMA.
The catch-all line of fighter pay has gone up.
How much?
No longer works. It just, nobody's fooled by this bullshit anymore. As you can see by the person from Rolling Stone kind of diving deeper into specific numbers and asking how much does a Dana White Contender Series fighter make? How much does a debuting fighter make? This is the comparison with the WNBA. This fighter pay goes up shit does not work. There was a time where it did when the media wasn't as savvy about this sport, when people didn't care as much about this sport, when people didn't care as much about the finances of the fighters. Fighter pay is going up, and we hear this from Mark Shapiro on the conference calls as well, on the investor calls rather as well, talking about fighter pay has gone up, blah, blah, blah. The percentage of money that the fighters get of the UFC revenue and of the UFC profits is woeful, is disrespectful when compared to the percentage of revenue that NBA players, WNBA players, NFL players, pick a major sport, pick a sport and pick a league or organization. The percentage of the revenue that they are making is 3x the UFC's percentage every single year. It has not changed. There is no portion of the TV deals that the fighters are getting. There is no portion of the gates that the fighters are getting. There's no portion of the, do they make merchandise? They might make merchandise. I actually don't know the specifics on the merchandise. There's the small checks that they get for the video games, but it is woeful. It is pathetic when you compare their percentage. It doesn't matter that it went up. How much did it go up? How much is the percentage of your business that is represented by how much you pay the athletes? It is still too small. It continues to be too small, and until something changes, it will always be too small.
The crutch is also always, look at boxing, bro. The people on the undercard of boxing don't make shit. It's just like, but you're not trying. You always talk about how broken boxing is from belts and everything standpoint, and also this financially, you can't compare to a sport that you constantly shit on in boxing. You want to be compared to the NFLs, the MLBs, the NBAs of the world. Why are you comparing to a sport that you constantly berate? It's
a great point, and the pushback against that point is, I'll grant you that. Fine. The lower level guys make more in MMA or with the UFC than they might in boxing. Sure. I don't know the specific breakdown of that, but let's say Dana White or somebody at the UFC makes that argument, I'll go, I give that to you. What does Conor McGregor make in comparison to the money that he's drawing for the promotion? What does Alex Pereira make in contrast to what the money that the promotion has made off his back? What does John Jones make in contrast to what the promotion has made off his back? What does Tom Aspinall make? Because the numbers are out there for Canelo, the numbers are out there for Tyson Fury, the numbers are out there for Bud Crawford, the numbers are out there for the boxing world, and those guys don't get peanuts. Those guys do make more. And so you can that's fine. You win the argument if you want to say that the bottom makes more. But what do your top athletes get? What do the people who actually make the good money, what do the people that support this promotion and make your business viable actually get when it's time to take home the money? Because I know what the boxers make, and I know how much the boxers are making as a percentage of the revenue that event generated. I don't know how much the UFC fighters are making, other than to say that percentage continues to come back and be abysmal.
He gets hounded about this constantly, but there's just nothing that's going to change it.
Well, the argument, I've sat here and made the case for why UFC fighter pay should be higher. Putting on the other cap, stepping into Dana White's shoes or stepping into Ari Emanuel's shoes or Nick Khan or Mark Shapiro or any of their shoes, fuck you, make me. If you can't make me pay you more, I'm not going to, because this is a business and they're so... Ronda Rousey, I go back to it every single time. Ronda Rousey laid this out in the lead up to the Netflix MMA card. She laid it out perfectly. It's the only thing you need to reference from now until the end of time. TKO is not a fight promotion. TKO is a stock that has investors. They are chasing bottom line profits. They want to make the most money with the least expense. They want to maximize shareholder revenue, and they want to continue to raise their stock price. That's the full function of the business. They do not give a shit about the fights. They do not give a shit about the fighters. If fighter X, who's cheaper, can get them closer to profitability, that fighter is now more important than fighter Y, who might be a better fighter but can't bring them closer to profits. That's just the economics of the business. And if I were in their shoes, I would be doing exactly what they're doing, because it has been a very, 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 very successful and lucrative model. So in their shoes, fuck you, make me. If you're a fighter, if you're anybody who has a problem with this, fuck you, make me. And until you do, I guess just fuck you.
Yeah. We say it till we're blue in the face. I mean, that was a great breakdown. I can't help but laugh. You know, we're sitting here like, man, it's fucking disrespectful. If I was them, I'd be doing the exact same thing. Yeah, I mean, until they unionize, until they give a power to the fighters, nothing is going to change.
Or until there's alternate solutions, right? Until there's an alternate opportunity that can be had, right? We heard so many of the fighters who fought on the Netflix card say how much they were being paid. That's great, but is that sustainable, right? Nikisa came on the show after the event and was like, we're going to do multiple cards a year. Great. Like that sounds like a great opportunity for some of these fighters. What's the economics of that? Can it sustain a big enough roster? All those things. These are the only ways toward something changing, right? If an alternative product pops up, if something pops up where the opportunities are elsewhere and you can negotiate, that's going to be great for fighters. If fighters get together and say, we deserve more in the way that the WNBA did, which they said, we deserve more, and now they have these minimums, that's how you get things done. But until that day, it's just us speaking into the void.
And the void will continue as of now. Speaking of Nikisa Badarian and MVP, Ronda Rousey obviously defeated Gina Carano, made light work of it, 17 seconds, yada, yada, yada. Holm has a rematch in boxing this weekend, but she joined Ariel Helwani yesterday and talked about the potential of a rematch with Ronda Rousey.
I've always been open to a rematch with her since the day the fight was over. Said if she wants a rematch, I'm game. Anytime. I've always said I'm good with a rematch.
Do you think she's open to it? Do you think there's a chance? I know I asked her a million times and she said she wants to have babies.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You don't feel that?
I think she just wanted the fight that she had, and that's it. Maybe it kind of gave her some kind of a better finish for her career. Maybe she'll love the way that win felt and come back and still want to fight again. But I believe her when she says she's done.
Ronda Rousey joined Kay Adams on Up and Adams and responded to Holly Holm's claims of she wants to retire.
I'm sure your phone's blowing up about this. Holly Holm apparently saying she doubts you would want a rematch with her. What's the response to that?
I said I'm retired. A, and B, like, I think that I am a completely different fighter now, and I would clean her clock. And definitely now that I got that new medication, I took it before, so I was diagnosed with cortical spreading depression, which was what was happening in my last fights, and why I basically was like, I need to stop, because I thought that like my concussions were catching up to me. And this was the first fight where I was able to take it. And when I spiked my head into the mat, that's exactly the kind of thing that would have set me off before, and I would have lost, big chunks of my vision. And it didn't come back at all. It was like it ended up working perfectly in a live situation.
The Ronda Rousey getting asked about Holly Holm, and like immediately you can just see the offense on her face, and like almost dropping a bitch there on FanDuel TV to Kay Adams. She was like, I'm retired. And you could just see it. So yeah, I mean, like Holly Holm says she's retired, and I do feel like Kay Adams left that part out where Holly Holm said, like, not that you don't want a rematch with me, but she's retired. She's not gonna want to fight anymore, period.
Yeah, and I don't think it makes a difference to somebody like Ronda, right? Ronda is going to always have this feeling and reaction toward it. What I find fascinating, caveat up front, like disclosure, I am a Ronda Rousey apologist. I always will be. I have no shame in my game when it comes to this.
Let's hear it.
I love Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
I love her attitude. I love what she brings to the sport.
Okay.
It is a bit grating at times for somebody to be like, I would whoop your fucking ass. But
if I wasn't retired.
If I wasn't retired, if I was in the game. At the same time, one, I believe in her heart she believes that. I don't think that's like gamesmanship. I don't think she's like throwing that out there with full knowledge of like, we're never going to fight. In her heart of hearts, Ronda Rousey fully believes that she would whoop Holly Holm's ass at this point in her career. There's no doubt. She believed she was going to beat her the first time, and now she believes she would beat her this time. I have no doubt in my mind. It's not like a you know, hold me back, and then you punch somebody and you know they're held back. She really believes she would whoop her ass. But it only makes me want to see it more. Every time Ronda does this, every time Ronda's like, Kayla Harrison, fuck you, you're garbage, you wouldn't be anything without me, you were, you know, paying for the groceries and all this, but I'm retired. It only makes me want to see her fight Kayla Harrison. It only makes me want to see her fight Holly Holm. I wonder if there's a number that Netflix MVP could get her that would make her open to the Holly Holm fight, because that is right there. Holly Holm has this big opportunity coming up this weekend, and then presumably she's got two potential big options ahead of her. Like, it seems like the Katie Taylor talks are real and there, right, for Holly Holm to be Katie Taylor's retirement fight, or Ronda Rousey. Those are both incredible options for somebody like Holly Holm, who has a huge name and a legacy career in both boxing and MMA. It makes me want to see it. Is there any number in the world that they could pay Ronda Rousey to delay the having more babies
1,000%.
and fight Holly Holm? And if there is, please pay it.
There is. I just don't know if Netflix is willing to pay that money.
Fuck, I would want to see that so
There has to be
badly.
a number. Everyone has a number. There is a number that could delay Ronda Rousey from having more children and fighting Holly Holm again.
30 million for the kitchen strap.
Fuck, yeah. I mean, who knows what
Maybe.
that number is? I
Maybe
hope so. I never was that gung-ho about the fight between Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey, like, itself. I was all in on the drama, not the drama, because that's more usually associated with like bad blood, but like the spectacle, the Netflix aspect of it, the idea that both of these women were coming out of retirement after long layoffs. Like, that part of it was very intriguing to me. The fight itself, as you've, you know, talked about on the show, I knew that fight was going to be over in 5 seconds, and it was over in 5 seconds. There was no drama for me there. I really want to see Ronda Rousey fight Holly Holm. Like, really, really, really desperately want to see the fight itself. I can skip the drama part on this one. You can fast forward me all the way to fight day. I don't give a fuck if they never step in front of a microphone. I want to see Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm.
There's been, you know, Ariel has mentioned it several times this week about the potential of Holly Holm having these two massive fights, Katie Taylor, Ronda Rousey on the horizon. There is a world. She lost to Stephanie Hahn in that first one. Now it was a clash of heads, and they had to go to a technical scorecard decision. Yes. But like, it wasn't like it was a one-way traffic or anything, and she's just slated to blow Stephanie Hahn out. If she doesn't win this fight, and Ronda Rousey's just like, bro, I'm retired, she could miss out on both those opportunities, and it could just start this weekend.
Yeah, and to that point, as a reminder for anybody who's maybe not like keeping up with the boxing world, Stephanie is the champion and the minus 350 favorite. Holly Holm is the underdog in this fight, so it's not like this is a foregone conclusion of like, I beat Stephanie Hahn and then I'm in the money here. Like, this is a task that's ahead of Holly Holm. This is not some like walkover opportunity where it's like you just get past this and you get the big reward. This is going to be a fight that is not easy for her to win. You know, at least as far as the odds goes, at least as far as conventional wisdom goes. Who knows how it ultimately plays out? But yes, like, this is not just like stroll on into. This is not cakewalk. This is not tune-up fight. Stroll into a big payday at all.
Stephanie Hahn is 12-0, and this would put Holly Holm at 1-2 in boxing since her return.
Yeah. So,
and then I can't imagine they're going to be like, all right, go fight Katie Taylor.
I think the Katie Taylor fight hinges on a win here.
For
the Katie Taylor fight is not happening if Holly Holm loses. The Ronda Rousey fight, though.
That's what I'm saying, though. But if Ronda is just like sticks by her guns, she's just like, I'm retired. Neither of those fight might happen for Holly Holm.
I believe Ronda Rousey. I'll say three things that I believe. I believe Ronda Rousey wants to retire. I believe that there's a number that can get Ronda Rousey to not retire. And I believe that saying you're retired is the best negotiating tactic to get that number. So I think all three things are true. I think Ronda Rousey does not want to fight and wants to have babies. I believe that she would compromise that game plan for enough money and 3, that she's playing it perfectly to get that number if it's even possible. The best, I mean, we've seen it with Tyson Fury how many times? I'm done. I'm walking away. That's how you get the money. That is Conor McGregor. Thanks for the cheese. I'm gone. That is how you play it the best. And so I believe all 3 of those things to be true. Let's see if there can be a Godfather offer that she can't refuse, because I would love to see that fight.
I think a lot of it depends on how happy Netflix, how satisfied they were with that first card. But I think Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey would be bigger in terms of fan appeal. I don't know, because the first one on Netflix is always going to garner so much more attention than normal ones. But in terms of fan interest, I think that would be much higher.
Is the pressure on Holly Holm not only from the Katie Taylor perspective, because as we both said, right, you have to win this to win the boxing match, but if she has an incredible performance here, does Netflix all of a sudden go, well, shit, Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm is looking a little bit better. This Hall of Fame. Holly Holm is a Hall of Fame boxer. She's not just like a boxer. She is a Hall of Fame boxer. She is probably one day going to be a UFC Hall of Famer, has one of the biggest upsets and incredible moments in UFC history. She's got some juice. Like, she's got some momentum in a way that very few women do. If she gets a big win here, I wonder if Netflix goes, you know what? Maybe. And they've been supportive of the women's fights, right? Like Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano was a massive event for them, something that they supported in the past. I don't know. It feels like it's lining up, but there's a lot of pressure on Holly Holm to kind of like get that done.
We're going to find out. She's a big underdog to Stephanie Hahn. You can watch that on ESPN this weekend. Our guy, AH, going to be covering it. Amanda Serrano also on the card. Getting the co-main spot after being the main event earlier this year. Hahn Holm took place back in January. Headbutt created the cut, so they had to go to the technical scorecards.
MVP always does the multiple main event thing. It's
love
like
it.
they love there's 3 main events. It's like
You're not fooling
it doesn't
anyone.
work that way.
You can't have more than one main event.
Amanda Serrano is underneath Holly Holm on the card.
She is the co-man.
That is just a reality. I've never understood that. Like, I guess as a fighter, you don't want to say that to them. You don't want to designate them as lesser than. But it's like, if I'm not walking last, like be legit with me. Like, what are we talking about here?
I don't even think what was the MVP MMA card? Triple headliner?
Triple
headliner. How can that be?
There's only one headliner. There's only one main event.
The headline, that's what it is.
It's on the top.
That could be the triple.
It's on the top.
The worst was the hat, where they had to do all 3 fights embroidered on the left side of the hat. And I'm just at what point are you like, maybe this isn't such a good idea?
What is it? Is it an ego thing about the fighters? What is it?
It's an ego thing with the fighters, yeah.
It's crazy.
It's this like wanting to say, this thing is so good that it's equal to this.
Yeah.
But it's not. You're lying. It's not, because it's second. It's
and then on Netflix,
happening underneath.
It was Rousey Carano.
Yeah,
that was the main event.
I don't get it. I wish they'd go away from it. We've seen it in MMA. I think PFL has done it in various times, maybe even Bellator. But like, just call it what it is. You can just say Hahn and Holm is headlining the event. It's a great fight. No problem. Amanda Serrano is still a great boxer. Nobody's going to be like, Amanda Serrano is not the double main event? Oh, my God.
You guys got to give her that. You guys got to give her that distinction of the double main event. Let's go to some other news and notes around the world of combat sports. TJ Dillashaw, who's been training at Santos Studio, I believe, with Khamzat Chimaev, talked about how hard of a weight cut. We saw him on the scales and everything. Khamzat Chimaev, it seemed like he struggled to get down to that 185. We know he's had troubles in the past when he was cutting to 170. But TJ Dillashaw gave a in-depth account of the struggles of Khamzat Chimaev leading into that Sean Strickland fight.
I knew looking from the outside in that, like, he wasn't eating the foods. Like, they were posting stuff, and his nutritionist was posting stuff. I was like, oh, Sam wouldn't have him eating that. And then I seen him sitting in the bathtub to cut weight. I was like, Sam wouldn't have him be sitting in the bathtub to cut weight. He's like, Sam's not doing his weight cut, you know? And then to hear the story of what actually was happening to him, and, like, him, like, puking up green vial and just all the, like, the crazy shit. Like, he should not have made it to the fight. And to see how he performed still, like, round 5, round 4, like, he still had the better fight and cardio than in Strickland.
Okay, so he kept referring to a guy, Sam, as his nutritionist.
Yeah, Sam Calvia.
Matteo Capodaglio, who is also a nutritionist who has worked with Khamzat Chimaev in the past, came out on Instagram and made an Instagram post and said, journalists wanted full access during fight week. I woke up this morning with a lot of people sending me interviews of TJ Dillashaw indirectly mentioning me, my methods, and my work with Arman/Khamzat. I don't like going back and forth on social media. I think the best way is to answer with facts. Next week, I will be in Las Vegas to supervise Edmund Shabazian's weight cut for his fight against Brendan Allen. Edmund is an athlete I have worked with for years, and he represents the Capo nutrition philosophy perfectly because he follows my guidance not only during fight week, but also in the off season. He says he spoke with him, he's fully comfortable, blah, 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 everything like that. My work has been defined by intellectual honesty, professionalism, and accountability. This is how I want to continue. I'm not denying that the weight cut for the last fight was difficult, but I strongly believe there were several variables that need to be taken into consideration before pointing fingers or making public accusations. One final note. The protocol used for that fight was the same one used a month earlier when Khamzat successfully made weight and got his title against Dricus du Plessis. Transparency is the best answer here. Thank you.
Yeah, so TJ Dillashaw had been with Sam Calavita for a long time and been doing working with him, and so there was a time where Khamzat was, and so he's saying this wasn't Sam's methods, this wasn't Sam's protocols. This gentleman who seemingly was the one who was working with Khamzat for this one, saying proof's in the pudding. I'll show you guys. It wasn't the weight cut. I don't know, man. It just seems like at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to look around and be like, man, there's always a lot of drama around Khamzat weight cuts, huh? Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care if the protocol was followed or not followed, or for this fight, this happened, this fight, this happened. There's always just a lot of drama with a Khamzat weight cut, right? We saw him, what was it, 179 or something that he weighed in for the what ended up being the Kevin Holland fight instead of Nate Diaz. And then they switched up that fight card. Like, what at a certain point, it can't just be the nutritionist. At a certain point, it can't just be the weight cut. At a certain point, it has to be a discipline thing with Khamzat or a medical thing, right? I need to hear from somebody that there's a medical issue with Khamzat Chimaev and he can't make weight because of XYZ. If I don't hear that, then I think it's a discipline issue. And it's like every other fighter is making weight with, a few exceptions. But like most fighters, especially in championship fights, are making weight and not struggling in this way. What needs to change for Khamzat Chimaev to be able to make weight? There's so much like of this shadowy game around it, and this guy's talking about this and the discipline and the weight cut and blah, 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 blah. I just want to see Khamzat make weight and fight. And I understand for people, there have been some fighters, I think Dricus weighed in on this, I think Strickland weighed on this, who from the outside are like, yeah, this is just an excuse, shut the fuck up. Like, I kind of get that.
Yeah, I mean, Strickland had to get down to 185. You knew where you had to be. You've been there before. You've moved up a weight class. You've made championship weight. You got the title. Like, this just sounds like you struggled in this one, and it is what it is.
Yeah. By the way, it's not Khamzat really like out there beating this drum to death about like the weight cut.
Yeah, another thing about the Dillashaw thing is that he did mention right from the jump, he was like from the outside looking in.
And the stories.
I saw the Instagram stories, and I talked to this person that he was throwing up green vial. I think he meant bile, but
yeah, same difference.
He was puking and everything like that. So like, it wasn't even like he was in the room there with him.
Yeah, and again, I almost don't care if somebody in the room there with him was like, Khamzat was struggling. I'd be like, great. How does he not struggle next time? Like I don't care so much about the revision of like Khamzat had a tough weight cut. He looked like shit on the scale. We showed him on the scale. He did look like shit on the scale. It probably wasn't his best effort. It probably was, the weight cut took a lot out of him. How do you correct that error? Because this seems to be a recurring issue. He can't keep losing on the scale. If the argument is from some of these people talking about it that Khamzat Chimaev lost on the scale because the weight cut was so difficult, he needs to not lose on the scale. It's that simple. Have the preparation and the training to not lose on the scale. And this is from somebody who believes Khamzat is probably still the best middleweight and probably could be a pretty damn good light heavyweight.
The long saga between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, the pound for pound number 1 and number 2, it feels like we've been talking about him forever, continues on. Ilia Topuria talked about he actually doesn't think Islam is ducking anymore, and there's another reason that the fight is not happening. Take a listen.
I don't think that it's because of him that the fight is not happening. I truly believe that is that the UFC doesn't want to make it happen. I think so.
It's got to suck, I imagine, at some point. I mean, there's the passion of the fighters, and then there's the business of the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Vic Blend's kind of getting into it there that like it's just like the money isn't worth it in the UFC's eyes to make this fight happen. Obviously, both dudes commanding a hefty paycheck for that fight.
Yeah, and just not being in the business of paying for big fights at this moment. Like the fights that everybody seemingly wants to see, they have kind of put on the back burner. Have you ever tried to move one of those barber chairs?
Just like off the floor?
Yeah.
No.
Have you ever just touched one?
I mean, I've swung it around and sat in it and stuff.
They are ridiculously heavy.
Yeah,
like,
hell yeah.
Like surprisingly.
Did someone move it in that video?
No, but the fact that they have like an open warehouse space where clearly those barber chairs are not placed. The only thing I was thinking as seeing this.
Oh, someone had to go set it up?
I worked at a PR office that we used to have barber chairs as our client seats. And I've had to like kind of shift around those barber chairs. We had to bring them in. I feel for whatever crew had to bring in those barber chairs. That was the first thing I thought when I saw this. Shout out to whoever brought those in.
I got to say, Vic looks much more comfortable in that chair than Ilya does.
Yeah, Ilya doesn't look as comfy, but shout out to Vic Blends with the exclusive interviews. He got that big John Jones one where John like was first spoke about Tom. At like a very like important and viral moment. Shout out to Vic Blends getting it in.
Look, man, people get comfortable in that barber chair. Islam Makhachev has come out to discuss it, talking about saying that he knows Topuria knows why they aren't fighting at the White House. There's a lot of discussion about this fight, but Topuria and his team know why the fight, Topuria versus Makhachev, won't happen at the White House.
I feel like we keep Ilya and Islam only talk about the fight not happening and the other knowing why.
I just want the fucking White House card to happen so we can stop talking about the fight that
Ilya
didn't happen.
and Islam never happened at the White House. It doesn't, at this point, truly, not a rhetorical question. I actually want your answer to this. Does everybody not know why this fight didn't happen already? Is it like, is there a mystery around this to anybody?
Is it not just the UFC
didn't want to pay for it? Like,
there it is. Done.
Is that not obvious to anybody?
Open and shut case. I don't think Ilya Topuria was ducking, and I don't think Islam Makhachev was ducking. I think the UFC was just like, listen, man, we're just not cutting the paycheck for that one. We're gonna go elsewhere for the White House.
Obvious.
Done. Big news. Our guy, your guy, honorary boy in the back, Malcolm Wellmaker, unfortunately,
shout out,
riding a 2-fight losing streak right now in the UFC, looking to switch things up, looking to make some changes, leaving Augusta, Georgia, and is heading to ATT. Says an update to all my family, friends, and supporters out there. I have made the decision to move to Florida and become a part of the team at American Top Team Coconut Creek. I spent the last few days here practicing with the team and meeting the staff. The training and the instruction is world-class, just like I expected. But the lengths the staff, coaches, and athletes have gone to make sure I feel welcome has beyond exceeded my expectations, and that was the true deciding factor for me. Breaks my heart to leave my city, community, family, and everything I have ever known. Obviously referring to Augusta, Georgia. But I am in a position where I have to make a change. I'll never forget where I came from. Augusta, Georgia, 706. Shout out. Faglier's Kempo Karate. I love you all forever, and this isn't the end. I hope that when it's all said and done, I achieve greatness and bring it back to my city. But until then, I got work to do. Hashtag 706. Shout out to him, repping the Peach State. I think with the last two performances, I don't think making a change. You know, we saw Dustin Poirier do essentially the exact same thing, being like, I got to get out of Louisiana. If I want to reach greatness, I'm going to ATT. In Florida, this feels like the same move for Malcolm Wellmaker.
It's funny that you mentioned Dustin because I was just thinking about Malcolm, that like for a young man, he has a good head on his shoulders, right? A lot of times when people suffer the defeats that he's had, especially being as big a prospect as he was, right? There was a lot of hype behind him before those first two losses. He was the guy at the MSG show that everybody was like, you got to see Malcolm Wellmaker. He's about to be the next big thing. And then credit to Ethan Ewing, who's also a fantastic fighter for getting that opportunity. But most of the time when those types of guys fall, it's like blaming this one, blaming that one, not doing this, not doing that. A little secrecy of like, I changed coaches, but I don't want to talk about it. He's just transparent. Like he was transparent after the last loss to Ethan Ewing. He was transparent after this loss to the point that he's like, look, I don't want to do this. I don't want to leave my home. I don't want to leave my community, but I believe I have an opportunity ahead of me and I'm going to do this. It's the type of maturity, it's the type of like responsibility and assuredness that you want to see from a young man in Malcolm's position, where it's like, we believe he has all the talent in the world. We believe he can be something special. It has derailed right now. Now he's going to find out by making this move to a camp like ATT, if he does. But I just appreciate like the way he's handling business. Like, he is not running. He is not running from the smoke. He's not running from the critics. He's not trying to make excuses. He's saying, I fell short. I need to improve something to not fall short. Very much what I'm kind of talking about with Khamzat, where I'm like, there's all this mystery. It's like, oh, this nightmare weight cut that nobody wants to talk about, but I heard the stories and the whispers. It's like, at a certain point at the end of the day, you didn't get the result you wanted. Fix something and make it work. Malcolm Wellmaker seems like a guy who is trying to fix something to make it work, and I respect it.
I'm with you. There's been transparency throughout all of it. It's not just like, excuse. It's like,
never.
Man, I fucked up.
Yeah.
I got to get better, and I appreciate that, man. And I'm going to be rooting for him, obviously. Reps my home state. Has come on the boys in the back. Nah, he said 706 forever. He said 706 forever. That's why it even more so is similar to Dustin, the fact that he's 100%. From a small town in a southern state, and then he heads to Florida to try and make the improvements. So we will be watching. I can't wait to see the improvements that he makes down at ATT. We had some fights this morning. I know Jordan was hyped up about it. His boy Rong Zhu in the main event
Shout out Rong Zhu.
Road to UFC gets a brutal knockout in...
Was it 19 seconds, I think?
A minute 10.
Yes,
that's
right.
Took him 70 seconds to get it done against Victor Martinez. My biggest question when I saw this...
It was so good, it actually set MMA back, if you ask me.
Did it set MMA back because he was a minus 4,000 favorite and won in 70 seconds?
A minute 10, so questions have been asked.
These are not the types of fights that we do here. These are not the types of fights that we do.
Well, technically, the UFC can say that because
it was a road to UFC.
A road to UFC.
You're not in the UFC. You're on the road to the UFC.
It
even though you're Rong Zhu,
so
who is signed to the UFC roster.
Who's to check?
Yeah, so like
who's to check?
Was this like supposed to be like this is a UFC fight as the main event to draw people in to watch it? Like I saw a sign that was like UFC main event, UFC fight headliner, something like that. Because Rong Zhu had won his last two fights in the UFC.
Rong Zhu is in the UFC. There is no doubt he is not on the road to the UFC. He was on a road to the UFC card.
Can we just talk about, by the way, great career, 28-6. We know why Jordan loves him so much. This is dating back to 2021, April of 2021. Yeah. UFC fight against Rodrigo Vargas, loses.
Yeah.
UFC fight against Brendan Jenkins, wins.
Yep.
UFC fight against Ignacio Bahamondes, loses. UAE Warriors fight, wins. Road to UFC fight, wins. Road to UFC fight, wins. Road to UFC fight, wins.
Oh.
Back in the UFC, our guy Taco Padilla, shout out, loses. UFC fight against Cody Steele, wins. UFC fight against Austin Hubbard, wins. Road to UFC fight against Victor Martinez, wins. So is he back in the UFC, or is he going to fight again on Road to UFC?
No, I think he's going to be back in the UFC. I think what you said was the thing, which is they're looking for like a headline slot.
Yeah.
Isn't what's
because all the other fights on the card were tournament.
But
fights.
what's the young lady? The
Shi Ming.
Shi Ming
is fighting in Road to UFC tomorrow morning.
Those are both UFC athletes. They have both competed in the UFC already.
Against Puma Tojar.
Yeah,
Puja Tomar.
Puja, yeah, they're
flipped it there.
They're just putting UFC fights on top of the Road to the UFC card. Minus 4,000 is wild shit though.
Minus 4,000 looked like a minus 4,000.
Sure did. Do you know what this is amateur research. I've just looked this up quickly before the show. Do you know what the biggest favorite on a UFC fight was before this?
Alexander Romanov, Chase Sherman, like minus 2,500.
If that was, then that would be up there. But Bo Nickel versus Val Woodburn was also minus 2,500.
Oh, okay.
And Isaac Dulgarian versus Brendan Marat was minus 2,400. And if that was the closing line on Sherman versus Romanov, that was also a minus 25. So like this blows those out of the fucking water. This would
be the biggest.
Yeah, but does
UFC.
it count if it's on Road to UFC? Does this count as in the UFC?
I don't know. Why'd they do Rong Zhu like
It's a pro fight that's gonna. Yeah, I don't know.
As the president of the Rong Zhu fan base, how do you feel about this?
A win is a win.
Win's a win.
A win's a win.
28-6. He's racking them up, man. It's an impressive career for Rongju. Shout out to him.
Road to UFC. Doesn't matter the Rongju Fight Club as long as he fights.
He's now in his second stint in the road to UFC. And if he goes back to actual UFC fights, then he's in his third stint in the UFC.
Has he ever lost on road to the UFC cards? I think he was 4-0, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Shout out. Got to throw him on that road to the UFC.
Even Shi Ming joked in her fight announcement video. She was like, I'm setting the world record for most road to UFC fights. Yeah, he's 4-0 in the road to UFC.
Shout out. Throw him on that every time.
Okay, so he was credited on Tapology. He's 3-0 in road to UFC, and this was a UFC win for him.
Yeah, it was a UFC win. Very obviously. We're giving them a little bit of shit because of Mark Shapiro coming out and being like, the Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano set the sport back and all this bullshit.
35 years. Well, the sport's only 33 years old.
It was a late replacement. I don't have much of a problem. My question though is did Rongju need to stay on this card? Was that an absolute fucking requirement? Because otherwise,
some videos. The crowd at the Galaxy Arena was pretty hype.
Oh, I'm sure, but this guy minus 4,000 just got steamrolled. It's not really a competitive fight.
Shi Ming Puja Tomar is my Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to that one taking place tomorrow morning at the Galaxy Arena.
Are we gonna break that down in a second, or?
That's the breakdown. Shi Ming, vicious knockout.
Okay.
And then she cares for Puja Tomar in the
doctor. She's a nurse or a doctor? I forget. She's a doctor, right? Yeah.
At the hospital.
Shout out to Shima.
Later on.
Her announcement video was fucking all-timer.
Rongju was not the only massive favorite to win today, and I know we're not a tennis program, but I had to address, especially because someone asked me in Super Chats yesterday who I thought was going to win the French Open, and I was like, Yannick Sinner with a bullet, baby. This guy is on an insane run right now. He's going to complete the career Grand Slam. Yannick Sinner, minus 10,000 pre-match, goes up 2 sets and then 5 games to 1. So he just needed to win one more game in the third set to be victorious and move on to the third round. Completely collapses, completely falls apart. I believe he was as big as a minus 100,000 live odds. And there's some, this picture right here is just it's unforgivable. 6'3", 6'2", 5'1", and then he blows it. This is one of the biggest upsets. Going from this picture right here to him losing the match is one of the biggest upsets in all of sports. I didn't see too many Rongju minus 4,000 tickets this morning, but man, there were a lot of people that laid the cheddar on Yannick Sinner minus 10,000. There were a couple of people that put $50,000. I saw it. There it is. Oh man, $50,000 on Kalshi on Yannick Sinner.
The implied odds of minus 10,000 are 99.01 implied odds. Meaning 1% chance of it not hitting. You said live it got up to minus 100, right?
Yeah.
The implied odds of minus 100,000 are 99.9.
It actually got even worse because there was a man over in Europe who, when he was up 5-1, placed 747,850 euro to return 82.10.
Meaning he wagered 747,000 euro to make a profit of 82 euros.
That might be minus $1 million odds. That might be minus $1 million. Minus $1 million doesn't even sound real. And this guy bet on it and then lost.
Yeah.
That is so crazy to me. No, one of the biggest upsets in all of sports. I know we're not a tennis podcast here, but it is tough.
Who's to check?
Who is to check? Honestly, there was a guy out there. If you want to go troll him, FOAZN Poker, Thousand Poker, who tweeted last night, if you saw $999.07 on the ground, you'd pick it up, right? Yannick Sinner's a lock. 2 things here. Sinner is guaranteed to win. Fauzon, referring to himself, won't wake up at 5 a.m. to watch. I make money in my sleep. You wake up to make money. #levels. And his was the Kalshi slip for $50K, and then he put another $5,000 on FanDuel at Yannick Sinner. Minus 10,000 to win $50. Unfortunately, he did not make money when he slept. He lost 55,000.
You know that he went to bed not sweating. You know that he was genuine about the fact that it's I'm going to make this money in my sleep. What do you think that moment was like when he opened the fucking phone up?
I am a big tennis fan, so I was watching and I texted Jordan during it. I was just like, yo, are you watching this? Like, he is fucking crumbling right now. Like, he was cramping bad. Like, he had like a heat stroke, but like, you're not going to get a break in tennis for cramps. Like, it's not an actual medical emergency. You're supposed to just be hydrating properly, and he's always struggled with it. He was dead. He was just like, he was done. Like, the dude he was playing was like dropping drop shots, and he was just watching them go by. Like, he just stood no chance. If I had $55,000 on that, I'd be sick to my stomach. Sick to my stomach.
Okay. We both acknowledge he probably didn't sweat for 1 second going to bed. Does he even check the score? Does he even think about the bet again?
He did tweet at like 7 a.m. this morning. He was like, I have to admit, I woke up and I checked the score.
Oh.
Yeah.
That moment must have been... That must have been a bullet.
He seems to be having fun with it. He's like, if you could burn $55,000 under the Roland Garros heat, you'd do it, right?
Yeah, he's having fun so he doesn't have an actual meltdown.
Laugh at the $55,000 gone now. Cry later when Elon pays me $42 in all this engagement.
He's handling it as well as you can.
He's tweeting through it.
He's tweeting through it.
This guy punched a hole in his
Yes, he did something very bad.
This guy punched a hole in his wall. I don't even want to know what the fuck the guy did. Bet the 747,000 euro on it.
If you have $747,000 to euros to play with, you probably don't sweat a lot of money problems. You probably are somebody who has a lot of money.
Then why do you give a fuck about getting $82 back on
That's
a
great
tennis
question.
match?
It's a great question. I don't know why. I don't understand.
It seems like you're like money laundering at that point. You're trying to clean it off.
Could be. It's a weird thing to do. Also, the book taking the bet on that must have been like, they must be high-fiving in the back office, just fucking celebrating.
When they saw bro start cramping up, they were probably like, no fucking way. He folded so hard because he lost 5 straight games in the third set. Then he lost 6-1, 6-1. So that's 17 games to 1.
I did not watch this. Because I'm not like locked in on tennis like that I would even know that this was happening. But I remember watching the Knicks and the Cavs when the Knicks started like chipping into the Cavs 20-point lead in game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And I remember thinking to myself at like, it was like 21 or 22 at its highest point. When it got down to like 15, I was sure that they were going to come all the way back and win this game. I was sure that it was over. I'm sure that watching Cynic on that first like 3 games of the set, you start to be like, oh fuck, is he dead? Is this over? Like before it's 6-1, 6-1. When it's first few games of that set after it's broken, you're like, oh fuck. Is this guy just about to completely melt?
This also like, this puts it to shame. Like that 22-point comeback is nothing compared to this. Like this was an impossibility when he was up 5-1. These are upsets less insane than Sinner. Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson. This is all just on odds. App State beating number 5 Michigan, which was like one of the craziest things ever. The Pats, when they were down 28-3, was less odds than this. And then the 2 16 seeds who beat 1 seeds in March Madness were less than this.
I think that 28-3 is probably still more improbable. And the only reason I say that is because of the level of play that is required for that, right? Like,
yep.
There's just like a certain, even if the other team is melting down to win 28-3 to come back from 28-3 seems numerically impossible. Whereas in this case, it's like, if you play long enough and he actually is collapsing, you will eventually win.
And he was collapsing. He was having a heat stroke.
Yeah, he's having a heat stroke on the court. Like, you will eventually win. There's a world where in the NFL, you just literally run out of time because you can't score fast enough to come back from 28-3.
There's also a world, he played this out. There's a world where he like retired halfway through the fourth
and
set.
just gives
People
it
are like, oh, he was just injured. That's
he's
what
done.
happened. But,
yeah, why didn't he retire?
Dude, I don't know.
What
it was
the
a sad
fuck?
thing to watch. It was a sad thing to watch. He couldn't do shit. And like he was down like 4 games to love in the 5th set, and like he won 1 point. He turns to his team. He's like, come on. It's just like, nah, you're fucked, dude.
No, legitimately though, you I didn't even think about this because we'd been talking about this before the show, and I'd seen obviously the stuff on social. Why did he not retire?
He could have retired whenever he wanted to.
That makes no sense.
Just had it in him. I guess he just thought.
Oh boy!
With Alcaraz being out, it was like a once in a lifetime. All right, that's enough tennis talk for the day. That is
crazy.
That is our tennis segment for the year. Maybe
Shout out
we'll
Wrong
talk
Jew.
about it again. Shout out to Wrong Jew. Shout out to UFC Macau going down this weekend. The promotion returns to the Vegas of the East. And we got Song Yadong taking on Davison Figueiredo. Davison Figueiredo looking to avoid losing 4 of his last 5. And the odds do not like him. Speaking of that, he is currently a plus 320, and I actually think it's climbing from there. He's been a massive underdog in most of his fights recently, and he was able to squeak out a split decision against Montel Jackson. Plus 425 now for Davison Figueiredo, 38 years old, fighting at bantamweight against Song Yadong, who in a mind melter is still only 28. I'm not sure exactly how that's possible, but he is the massive favorite this weekend. I think it'll be an exciting fight, but I have to side with Song Yadong.
Yeah, same. Look, when Davison Figueiredo first came up to this weight, I was like, I did not believe he was going to have success because I thought he was perfectly kind of sized for, not perfectly sized because the weight cut was hard, but like flyweight was where he would have the best advantages. I thought he was going to be way too small for bantamweight. He came up and had that early success, and I was like, oh shit, mea culpa, like I was wrong. Like Davison Figueiredo is going to be a good bantamweight. I think it has now kind of caught up to him. I just feel like he is not big and physical enough at bantamweight to beat these upper echelon of guys. And Song Yadong is a very, very good bantamweight. I know his record's kind of like up and down, a little bit spotty, but strike for strike, and with the power that he carries, he's a real dangerous out for a lot of these. I don't think he's going to be a champion. I think he's one of those guys that's going to be like in that tier of like, man, he can hang with some of these champions in that division. He can be somebody who's like really competitive with the champions of this division, but I don't ultimately believe he's going to be a champion. Davison Figueiredo is a guy that he should be beating at this point in his career, and I think he will. So yes, I believe Song's going to have a really good performance.
Shit, at 28 years old, like you just never know what can develop.
100%.
Go ahead.
I was going to say 100%, but when you lose to the O'Malleys, when you lose to the Jans, when you lose to the Sandhagens, it has become clear to me like what his ceiling is and what the level is. He can have this late surge, he can change something up, and all of a sudden he becomes something different. I would be doubtful that would happen. He can prove me wrong, no doubt, but it seems like I know what his level is, which is like if you're the cream of the crop, he can fight with you, he can be competitive with you, he can even be dangerous because of how powerful he is, but he's not going to ultimately get over that hump. And I feel the same way about like almost like a Corey Sandhagen, if I'm being honest.
Well, you mentioned like the Figgy, like at the beginning he was having success. He started out 3-0 at bantamweight, and remember he had that Piotr Jan fight. I believe it wasn't in Macau. Am I tripping on that? Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't remember, but yeah.
But he had the fight against Piotr Jan. It was Galaxy Arena.
Shout out.
Figueiredo, Macau's favorite fighter. He had that Piotr Jan fight, and like he was potentially going to be in title talks at bantamweight had he 100%. Won that fight. It's absolutely insane. But he was a big dog going into that one, plus 245, plus 380 going into the Corey Sandhagen fight, plus 265 going into the Montel Jackson fight, plus 900 going into the Umar Nurmagomedov fight, and now he finds himself again as a plus 425 going into the Song Yadong. So it was like he had the success, but it was like, man, the odds makers really never had faith in him against this upper echelon at 135.
Yeah, and the wins were over Cheeto, who can also be a hit or miss type guy, over Rob Font, who is longer in the tooth and like sometimes has the best performances of a career. Another hit or miss. Garbrandt, who at this point is not like a top tier fighter. And so it looked good to start. I thought size was going to be more of a problem. I think it has become more clear that like he is not really like going to be ultimately a super successful bantamweight.
Plus, he's 38 at this point, man.
And
he's
older.
That's not where you want to be at when you're fighting in these lower weight classes.
Song, I think, can compete with the upper echelon. Again, I don't think he wins most of those fights, but he could compete with the upper echelon. I think Davison Figueiredo is even a level below that. So I think Song will show his class in this fight and do very well against Davison Figueiredo.
Let's go to the co-main event. Mingyang Zhang taking on Alonzo Menafield. Last time out, we saw Zhang get knocked out by Johnny Walker. He was on sort of that like ether everyone path early on here in his UFC career, but was stopped by Johnny Walker last time out. Now he gets Alonzo Menafield, who was knocked out himself last time out against Volkan Ozdemir. This kind of feels like one of those ones that they're going to come in and swing, and someone's chin is going to get touched.
Yeah, but tell me if you disagree. I'm not like a guy who's like Mingyang Zhang is like world beater. Like,
oh hell no.
Should this not be closer to a coin flip? Should this, like, Alonzo Menafield has proven that he is the type of fighter who is kill or be killed, but against these upper echelon of guys, it's like, if he catches them, if he has an opportunity, he can make it count. If they catch him, he goes out. I don't feel like this is like as far as the odds would reflect. I don't see this as like Alonzo Menafield is out of this. Now, granted, a little bit older, right? Actually, a lot of bit older, 11 years older. But in this division, if you can crack in the same way that Johnny Walker can crack, I don't think he's should be this big a dog.
Both of these dudes' chins have been touched.
Yeah.
They've also touched a lot of chins over the course of their career. They've both been knocked out 4 times. To me, it just feels like who's going to get to who first.
I feel exactly the same, but that's why I'm surprised that Zhang is a 2-1 favorite at some books. Like, wouldn't this be closer to a coin flip is just my feeling. And then, meanwhile, Zhang's going to come out there and just start smoke him in 5 seconds.
And we're just going to get exposed as the idiots we are.
Well, just me, thankfully.
We go to a heavyweight bout. Sergey Pavlovich taking on Taliesin Teixeira. Sergey Pavlovich, gone are the days of talking. Speaking of ethering people, Sergey Pavlovich used
disappeared.
to be like the scariest man on planet Earth. And then something changed in that Aspinall fight. I don't know if it was him getting knocked out himself, but he has been to 3 straight decisions now. And he gets Taliesin Teixeira on Saturday night, who is going to be his tallest opponent to date in the UFC, coming in at 6'7". But they're giving Taliesin Teixeira a big opportunity to get into the top 5 of the heavyweight rankings, because anyone can just get into the top 5 of the heavyweight rankings.
It is that easy.
I mean, 2 fights ago, he was getting knocked out by Derek Lewis.
Yeah. This is another one that the odds feel a little off to me, just based on how not impressive Sergey Pavlovich has been since that Tom Aspinall fight. Even in the wins, it's not been like a vintage performance. It's not been a dominant showing. It's been like kind of just a ho-hum performance. And Taliesin Teixeira is a very unique kind of physical specimen. He's very unlike a lot of the other heavyweights in the division. But man, the gas tank in the last couple fights has not impressed. And so I do imagine in the later rounds, Sergey Pavlovich will still be there and be able to take Taliesin Teixeira out of the fight. But until that point, I think he's going to be able to hang around with Sergey. I don't know that I love Sergey at that advanced, that steep a price based on the recent performances. But man, Taliesin falls off a cliff in the later rounds of that fight. That Tai Tuivasa, the Derek Lewis fight were just not good performances.
Yeah, I need to see Sergey Pavlovich get back to the power punching ways, man.
It feels like Teixeira is a guy that he can do that against.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see, man. We'll see. He's just been fighting in a different style ever since that Tom Aspinall fight. We'll see if he changes it up on Saturday and tries to defend his ranking. He's currently 3rd. Taliesin Teixeira sitting at 15th. Fucking hell.
I mean, he beat Ty, who was ranked like at that point, right? Wasn't Ty like in the top?
Yeah, I guess
12
so.
or something like that.
I guess so. Yeah.
You sound so thrilled by the heavyweight division.
Taliesin Teixeira, number 3 heavyweight in the world, if he wins. That's probably what's gonna happen. No, fuck me.
Don't be mad, bro.
Kaya Sakura.
No, because. Yeah, does that make sense? I guess that makes sense. But like, if Josh Hokett beats Derek Lewis, is he worse than Taliesin Teixeira rankings wise? Can they actually do that?
I don't know, but I'd be down for Taliesin Teixeira versus Josh Hokett. 6'7" versus Josh Hokett just running in there, just
windmilling like this,
flipping
him off.
It'd be great. Kaya Sakura back after an 0-2 start to his UFC career. Obviously lost the title to Alexandre Pantoja, taking on Cameron Smotherman, who's back after that scary weight cut. I don't think he has fought since then. Hopefully it's nothing but good news for him on the scales. Yeah, that Ricky Tercios bout from earlier this year, I believe that was on the first Paramount PLE, whatever we're calling them, numbered event of the year. So hopefully it's nothing but a good weight cut for him this time around. I like Kaya Sakura. For some reason, I just can't quit Kaya Sakura. Like everything that I saw from his Ryzen stint, and like he didn't do well against. He got finished by both Tim Elliott and Alexandre Pantoja. But for some reason, I'm going back to the well. I like Kaya Sakura.
I was about to say I'm a fucking idiot who just believes in Kai Asakura.
I don't know
no apparent
why.
reason.
I legitimately, I
Well,
don't know
you see
why.
the striking, and you're just like, yeah, the guy is good. Like, he is a good fighter.
And then they put up like remember that time he broke that dude's jaw in half?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he is sick.
He is
And then,
sick.
like he
He's
has
great.
like the dope fashion and the YouTube channel, and he like everyone loves him on social media, and you're like, that guy is pretty cool. Maybe he's got something. And then he gets starched in 90 seconds against Cameron Smotherman. Like
that's what's happening. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what's
it's-
waiting for us.
it's just kind of like, fuck, man. Why do I believe in Kai Sakura? He's literally given me absolutely no reason to believe in him whatsoever in his UFC career, but here I am doing it.
What's the meme where it's like, thank you so much, I love you, or something, and then it's like, but I'm just whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Like
But I'm just, I don't know.
But
I'm losing an 0-2 UFC fighter.
Well, I'm just Kai Asakura. It's like, it's like, thank you for changing my life. And
Me with the shadowed face.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a Kai Asakura shirt, and it's me saying, please give me your toughest battles to Jesus. He's like, what the hell? He's tossing me Cameron Smotherman. Yeah, I don't know why. I believe in Kai Sakura. So
Me too.
There's the pick. Jake
We're idiots.
Matthews.
That's why.
Taking on Carlston Harris, the representative of Guyana. One day there's going to be a Carlston Harris main event, and we're going to go get some Guyanese food, and it's going to be fantastic. 2-fight losing streak for Carlston Harris. Jake Matthews. In my head, Jake Matthews is 37, but he's still only 31, and he's 3-1 in his last 4. So
Okay, he's 3-1 in his last 4, but unless
be 4-0.
He's 4-0.
yeah,
right. Like
obviously the Neil Magny fight gets called.
He beat Neil
adrenaline
Magny.
dump, yada yada
I'm
yada.
firmly on the corner. I don't think that's much of a controversy.
Yeah.
You can argue like, hey, it played out the way it's supposed to play out. That's fine. But he beat Neil Magny. That fight was over. And so I believe like the performance that he had against Neil Magny was the performance that I was starting to say, Jake Matthews is showing the potential that everybody believes for him, right? You said you felt like he's 37 because he's seemingly been in the UFC for his entire adult life, and he's always been a prospect and always been somebody who everybody believed in but wasn't rising to the occasion. The Neil Magny performance, I think, was him showing that he's able to rise to the occasion, and he's finally ready to make that step. So I believe he's going to win this fight. I believe this is a fight he should win. But I do think the mental fuckery of like feeling like you beat Neil Magny and then looking at the loss is going to be an interesting thing to see how he bounces back from. But man, he's so fucking talented, and I do believe like he's trying to. I believe he's starting to put it all together.
Alex Perez taking on Sumaderji in a scrap that should be plenty of fun. Alex Perez always comes in ready to fight when he does get there, and I think he is going to get there. But that makes for an exciting flyweight event. Can we talk about how blessed we are this week? That like the UFC is gifting us the ultimate week for not only Jordan but us. Sumaderji, Arichi Lang, and Rong Zhu all fighting in 1 week.
The best.
The one-name gods.
Yeah.
The trio. The Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, Arichi Lang, Rong Zhu, and
if somebody
and
made like a
Sumaderji.
shirt of this, it would go platinum.
The Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, but it's Arichi Lang, Sumaderji, and Rong Zhu.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And then Yisak Lee is taking on Luis Felipe Diaz as well. And Meng Ding.
Shut up, Meng
He's
Ding.
fighting Jose Enrique. You got a ding, you dong, and a sack. It's good stuff, man.
Oh, boy.
It's good stuff.
The sex.
Sorry about that. Ray Saruya is back with a new look. We're getting blonde Ray, and he looks fantastic. The jawline looks as crazy as ever. Is he mogging in the right picture?
I got to be honest. He needs the hair back.
Oh, okay. You like the long black hair.
Yeah, not even necessarily the color. The framing of the face did something to make him
AI shit. Like I don't know.
His face looks more square with the blonde hair.
No, it's the framing. Like the hair definitely did some covering of like. He looks better on the left. That's all I'm gonna say. I think he needs to bring the long hair back.
He's fucking jacked on the right though.
Yeah, he looks beefier. That's for damn sure.
He's
He
in
looks
good shape
buffer.
either way. Are we coming to? Also, are the UFC logos on his gloves like gigantic on the right, or am I tripping?
No, they are.
Like some AI shit. Like I don't know.
I don't mind the blonde hair.
Is Kai blonde for this one? Did he go back to black last time? I forget. He usually has the changed hair color.
Can confirm
Let's
him
see what
arriving in
Kai's got.
Macau. It looks like a sandy blonde.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so maybe he'll re-dye before the fight, or maybe we're just going with something different here.
Shout out.
Yeah, I mean, Ray Saruya looks to be in fantastic shape. The hair looks cool. Taking on Luis Guriel. Should be a good fight. Ray needs to get back on track. He's been away for, a year now?
Yeah.
Yeah, since the Josh Van fight, which has aged nicely.
Well,
we
yeah.
haven't seen him since March 2025.
He did not. Van had the answers for what he was offering, but yes, as to your point, like that's now UFC champion Josh Van. Like that, I think that age is better. I'd like this feels like
He was
a
able
very
to get a few takedowns. He just wasn't able to do much with them.
He was able to have success there too, as well, in a way that even Tatsuro Taira wasn't able to in terms of the takedown game. This feels like a perfect like bounce back, get your confidence, and then see where you can kind of go from there. Only 23, about to be 24.
Angela Hill taking on Jingnang Zhang. Kanji Zhu taking on Rodrigo Vera. And then Loma Lukbunmi taking on Jacqueline Amorim. So, I mean, they're doing a great job of making it a very regional-centric card.
Does it feel like Loma is the opening fight of every fight card she's on? Like, it just feels like, and we're starting off with Loma.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. That like she is consistently curtain jerker.
Yeah.
Shout out to Loma.
I love Loma.
Putting on for Thailand.
She's just a fun scrapper. I love what Loma brings to the
She had a nice run, man. 4 straight.
Yep.
Lost last time out, but that's all right. We can bounce back.
She's a dog, so she'd need to.
Slight. Jingnang Zhang coming over from one championship, and Kenji Zhu doing the same. How many? What do we got? We got a Chinese fighter in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not bad.
Not bad.
It's not a bad card. Song Yadong, breaking news.
Oh.
His nutritionist is the same guy that Khamzat uses. So hopefully.
Wait, so why are we waiting till Edmund to get the transparency? Why?
Because we need to hire the journalist first.
Oh, somebody who's documenting it. And
yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, so that's your card. Road to UFC. Should be a good one. 3 a.m., 4 a.m. start time. Second one of the month. Because we had Perth earlier.
You're going to be up, right?
7 a.m. main card start. I will actually be away. I will be on a bit of a trip with some of my friends. I don't think they're going to want to get up at 7 a.m. But
I was talking like the 3.
Oh, no. Not for this one, unfortunately, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to be in the bunk bed streaming, Yeah. Oh, guys, Ming Yang Zhang just got knocked out. Oh, shit, guys. Rest in peace to Ming Yang Zhang. All right, what do you guys want to get into today?
They're like, who?
Who? Bro, the last time I watched a UFC card with these guys I'm hanging out this weekend, Piotr Jan was fighting, and they were like, you know who this guy is? I was just like, yeah, I fucking know who this guy is. It's fucking Piotr Jan.
He's a fucking champ of the world.
You fucking don't know who this guy is? Yeah, it was the Piotr Jan versus, who did he fight in Abu Dhabi last year?
Marcus McGee?
Marcus McGee, yeah. It was that fight.
You know this guy?
They were like, Piotr Jan? Well, of course, they said Peter Yan.
So you were with Sean O'Malley. You were hanging out with...
Yeah, exactly. So they didn't know who it is. This really kicks it off. This kicks off the UFC summer, man. Memorial Day weekend is here. I'm being serious. The World Tour. From Macau to Philly. That's our summer. We got Macau. We got White House. We got Baku. We got International Fight Week. We got Oklahoma City. We got Abu Dhabi, Belgrade, and Philadelphia.
All right, actually, it is a world tour.
I was gonna say, bro.
I was just I thought you were saying like kicks off the string of like great action. I thought you were going that direction.
No,
I don't know that Macau is exactly where I'd plant the flag on that one. But as far as like international, yeah, the flavor starts here. I guess it's good.
I feel like the next feel like we got it is Macau. I've heard good things about Macau. I've heard it's a better version of Las Vegas.
It is, but you're not a gambler in that way.
Yeah, true.
Like if you like table games, yeah, like that's a lot of fun. I'd be down for a trip to Macau, but this is more like that type of gambling than like the sports book.
Yeah. Shout out to Macau. Should be a good one this weekend. You got to set your alarms early if you want to watch.
Oh yeah.
But a nice bantamweight clash in the main event there, and a lot of local guys that are going to put on for what should be a rabid audience in the Galaxy Arena on Saturday morning. That's not all the fighting. We'll get some afternoon fights. BKFC 90 going down. And Darren Till makes his debut in the promotion, maybe the first step to seeing the long-awaited Darren Till, Mike Perry bare knuckle fight.
Name out your mouth.
Yeah, that's fucking right. Taking on Aaron Chalmers, massive favorite in this one. And God bless Darren Till and his workout regimen and his nutritionist, because he is looking absolutely jacked out of this one. This has got to be the best shape Darren Till has ever been in his life. I mean, he is chiseled out of stone. Maybe he got a tan too. Did he get a tan? Looks fantastic. He looks ripped and ready to go for Saturday night. Hopefully this is the first of many. I feel like you kind of find out about guys in bare knuckle pretty quickly once they make their debuts. Can you take those shots? Can you hang in there? Because it is sort of just like, it's a different atmosphere. But he gets that co-main event slot at BKFC 90 in Birmingham, Alabama. Can't believe it is not the main event.
Yeah, I mean, Darren Till not being the main event is a bit of a shocker. I guess they're giving the prestige of the belt, the rub there, but like, I don't know. It feels like more of a Conor McGregor situation where you just got to be like, this is the obvious thing that everybody's here for.
Yeah, dude. Look, man, this is taking place in England, and your poster is BKFC 90, Tierney versus Franco for, it just says the BKFC Championship, Interim World Welterweight Championship.
Yeah, no, you got to put Till above that.
Like, you got to know that Darren Till is the main draw why anyone is going to be watching this weekend. And this is no disrespect to Connor Tierney or Rico Franco.
No.
This is simply just a drawing power.
Trust me, those guys know that everybody's there for Darren Till. They're not unaware of that as well. Do you know who Aaron Chalmers is? Like, do you have any knowledge of Aaron Chalmers?
Okay. I know him because of previous BKFC fights, but like, I don't know shit about him.
We don't care.
All right, moving on. I was about to tell you a little bit about Aaron, but
I'd love to hear that.
Everyone, stop chatting shit.
So he fought for Bellator.
Yes.
He was on a very popular reality show, Geordie Shore, which is their version of our Jersey Shore.
Yep.
And he was part of that crew, that cast at the time, and became famous and popular off that, then transitioned into MMA. The most startling thing to me was like looking at that poster, the blackout of his tattoos is absolutely wild. Like he had a lot of tattoos, don't get me wrong, but now he is just covered, and like the face that's poking through the middle chest is kind of gnarly. Shout out to Aaron Chalmers though.
Okay, so he's like kind of a star, 2.2 million followers on Instagram.
Oh no, that show was massive.
So like this is a big deal in England that Darren Till is fighting this guy.
He is not like, from what I understand, from what I've been told by people in the UK, Geordie Shore was a big show. He was a big star and things like that. But it's not quite. It's not quite like mega stardom.
This isn't Mike the Situation fighting Sean Strickland on a BKFC card.
It kind of is, but like, is Mike the Situation actually putting butts in seats at this point in 20? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, but Mike the Situation would be on brand risk. Let's call it what it is.
Wow.
This isn't Snooki
Sorry.
fighting.
I'm sorry.
Respect.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This isn't Snooki fighting Tracy.
It is, but no.
I give a shit, so give us a fucking answer.
Baldy.
Snooki versus Tracy Cortez. The visuals on that alone, I would just pay.
I'm in.
Like I'm
I'm
fucking
in.
in on Snooki.
Guys, let's be honest. Jenny would fight for sure.
Jenny and her ex-husband Roger, I think, are very good friends with Frankie Edgar. She's been around the fight game.
Who gives a shit?
She's been front row for tons of UFCs. Shout out to JWoww. But yeah, it's like, his fame came at a very specific time. It's not like that level, but as you said, 2.2 million followers. He's definitely got a dedicated fan base. Like, this is a big-ish deal. So I think. You know what? Fuck you, Frank.
Are you hating Frank? What's the deal, bro?
Oh man,
What's going on, man?
Can't even talk about it.
You hate
sure the
him?
buttons are working.
Are you a huge Connor Tierney fan? Is that what it is?
Excuse me, I'm getting offended now.
Either way, I'll be watching. Shout out to
It's gonna be
BKFC,
fun.
Always putting on good shows, and the fact that we're getting Darren Till there. I think if he's successful, the talks have to start Darren Till, Mike Perry.
I think the talks start regardless.
I mean, they've already started, if we're being totally honest.
Yeah.
But, when it comes to the bets for the weekend, though, the Parlay Pals look to stay hot, baby. We are back in the green. I've already gotten Pizzi's pick. He's taking Sergey Pavlovich to knock out Taliesin Teixeira. though he says he just wants the money line. Frankie, what's your pick, brother?
My pick is Jake Matthews, and I don't mind telling you that.
Why would you mind?
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
I'm actually going to go with the man that I just can't quit for some weird reason, Kai Asakura. Me and Kai Asakura. Kai, Kara France.
Any
Any
guys?
others?
Kai
Sanat? Kyrie Irving?
Kylie
Jenner?
Kylie Jenner. Who were you going to say, Frank?
Jake Matthews.
What?
Oh, I meant Kai's.
Oh, I thought you were asking what my pick was.
No,
that wasn't done.
I'm taking Song Yadong. I think Song Yadong gets it done.
All right.
Shocker.
Song Yadong is the pick for New York, Rick.
We're sitting on green. I mean, did you guys acknowledge that last week? I don't know.
We did. I know you didn't watch. We appreciate that, man. And we will be even further in the green after we win this one, baby. Plus 136.
That's it.com.
20 and 40. Every 2 we lose, we win 1.
And that's it. We
That's all
win
that
33%,
matters,
but we're profitable.
That's all that matters, baby. We are rocking and
There's some
rolling.
people out there that would die to be 20 and 40 and profitable. I've seen some people out there that put bets out every week that just
every single week, and they are ass. They are down like 48 units on
48, 480.
Yeah, there's some people, and we're just flinging out some picks as we go into the weekend, and your boys are up. I do have one bet for myself that I'm taking. It's a little Japanese parlay, despite us being in Macau. Ray Saruya, Kai Asakura.
Love it.
What could go wrong? You tell me. Those are the bets. Those are the picks for the weekend. Should be some entertaining fights as we head into the summer UFC World Tour. Normally, now we would shift to our pound-for-pound rankings, and we would give you some witty, quirky reason on why we're ranking these, some sort of pun on a name, something like that. And I just have to be transparent. I have to be completely honest. We just couldn't come up with anything worth doing this week.
You're being very kind when you say be transparent and then you lie. We should acknowledge what really happened, which is when Frank, last minute left us in the lurch last week, and you and I did it together. We realized, it wasn't like it was disheartening. It was deflating to have to do it that way.
Ain't that what journalism is?
We've just retired it, thanks to Frank.
I was actually really looking forward to your pound for pound list last week, Frank. You didn't even send it in.
No.
No, I didn't.
No, it's all good. Now he killed pound for pound. So all letters directed to Frank.
I actually went back and was like, I didn't want to come out here and be like, in honor of Song Yadong, we're doing top 5 songs, and we just list our 5 favorite songs, and then people are just like, the pound for pound lists are getting unwatchable. This is fucking bullshit, man. So I went back, and now I'm actually questioning everything and wondering if we ever had a good pound for pound list. I went back on Spotify and I just opened up the descriptions. I would just choose random episodes. We've had some winners. Pound for pound Hills in honor of Jamal Hill.
We actually thought of that one again this week
for Angela.
Pound for pound New York Boroughs in honor of Charles Dubronx. That was such shit. And I clicked on a few of these and they're time stamped. And so I would go straight to them and I would have to listen to my dumbass explain to everyone. I clicked on the St. Patrick's Day one and I was like, yeah, and on St. Patrick's Day, you wear greens. So in honor of St. Patrick's Day, pound for pound greens. And it was like, I like emerald, and then I also like arugula, and it was just like,
is this a de facto pound for pound worst pound for pound?
Is
that what this is?
I'm not done yet. Star Wars characters in honor of Gina Carano fighting on Netflix.
That made sense.
That one made sense.
It's not whether it made sense or not. It's just how bad they were.
The best part of that one was us rushing through the end and me just reading off characters and then us being like, we're fucking done with this. Let's just go.
Pound for pound letdowns. I couldn't remember why we did this one and what even we talked about.
Do you remember what event it was for?
It had to have been an event that just happened.
Yes, I think it was something got canceled or something.
Or a fight announcement that got mentioned.
Yeah. Pound for pound letdowns, pound for pound convenience store food. And God bless whoever writes up. God bless whoever writes up the description of the podcast. It's like, and then the boys rank their pound for pound convenience store food. And I'm like, I wouldn't listen to this shit.
What was that one for? How did we arrive there?
I don't know. I have no idea.
And he pointed out it's for Arnold Allen. Yeah.
Yes, it was Arnold Allen because of
fight.
Tesco. Because of Tesco.
Bit of a stretch.
Someone says that's what makes it amazing. Just completely shit lists. We're starting to look forward to pound for pound. It's not dead yet. Don't worry, it's not dead yet. We just this week we just like kept throwing out stuff, and we were just like, what was it? Yeah, someone says top 5 dongs. Yeah, we worked on that, like top 5 meats in the UFC. Yeah, I think
we thought about top 5 dongs, and we just thought that might be a little too far to push.
Yeah, someone said could have done pound for pound early morning activities. We thought of that, but like, is that good? I like eating cereal. I like taking a dump.
Getting a workout in.
I
Yeah.
continue to sleep.
Yeah, I like continuing to
Snooze. Hit the snooze.
Yeah, I mean we're really getting there. Pound for pound Chinese provinces. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I'm
would have been
familiar with all of them.
that
so
would have
this
been terrible. We also did pies. Isn't that
Pies
for
was an
Pie
all-timer.
Day. That come on. We were just
I'm not
acknowledging there was a holiday.
questioning the reasoning. We've
Frank
always
put
come up with
shrimp
sound reasoning.
cocktail for pie.
Because you buy it comes in a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
circle.
that was the point where he tried to establish that anything in a circle is a pie. That was something.
Because that's why it's Pie Day. It has nothing to do with actual pies.
We did pound for pound sandwiches. That wasn't bad. But yeah, if you just go and click through our episodes and you just pull up the random ones, it's always just like, why did we
So you
do
want to take
that?
the circumference and divide by the diameter, you get pi.
We did pound for pound Apex Predators. That one wasn't bad. Like, let's just click into one. April 30th last year, UFC Perth. Pound for pound. Oh, wait, no, that's this year. Pound for pound Nightmare Scenarios. That one wasn't bad.
Frank, are you confused about the difference between pie and a circle? Is that what's happening?
Fight siblings.
Well, it was Pi Day.
Right, but I'm saying, are you confused that it wasn't Circle Day? Is that the issue?
Right. Well, like because pi is derived from a circle.
Right,
I went
but it's
with
not a
circular.
circle.
Oh no,
Okay,
I fucking know that.
Oh,
I
okay.
looked into
I just wasn't
the
sure.
history of the letdowns. People
Okay.
were let down by the White House card announcement.
Pound for pound documentaries.
We did that.
Yeah.
Damn, I was gonna offer that one next week.
Pound for pound Three Namers. That was
Oh, Three Namers.
That was a
great.
good one, dude.
Shout out
Three
to Jack
Namers
Della.
was fucking fire.
Shout out to Jack Della.
Who else? Mega preview, Noche UFC. Pound for pound with a twist.
Yes, we did
What was that
twists.
twist?
No, we did twists. That's the pound for pound.
Also, the best part, breaking the fourth wall, we don't have a running list of what we've done.
Jordan
So
has one somewhere.
It's not updated
No, we
because
don't.
there were several things that we threw out yesterday, and we were all just like, have we done that before? Like, I was hard on. If you want to know the ideas for today, pause on that, especially if we're about to talk about Yadongs. I was big on walkout
pause.
songs,
Yep.
but we couldn't remember if we had done it or not. And I was also big on pound for pound magazine covers with combat sport athletes because of Dana White. It was a tough week, man. We've done like 80 of these. We're running out of ideas.
The first thing I'm gonna have intern Josh and his help, another intern as well coming in.
The intern has
He's
an intern.
already dead.
What'd you say?
You said the intern has an intern?
No, he will not have an intern. There is another intern coming in, so
It's
he will
our
have
intern
help in
breeding
this
program, Jordan.
in this,
it just takes a few months,
thing.
and then they start producing each other.
His name's Jack. He's very nice. He's going to be joining us
Shout
as
out
well.
to Jack, legend.
One of them or both of them are going to come up with that list of pound for pound from previous, so that we will have a reference point.
You know, Josh is feverishly writing down the list right now. so he
Great,
doesn't have
even
to
better.
do
Get a
it.
head start. Get a head start. I think Josh is trying to sell Conor McGregor tickets right now. That he,
come up
purchased.
with the list and come up with a list of ideas. We got to start getting into some.
Pound for pound activities interns should do for us.
Yeah.
We could do pound for pound interns at the end of the summer when they're out.
Frank was pushing
Got
one
the
because
sex.
of the Indy 500 last year. What was it, Frank? I mean, last week.
The Indy 500?
The Indy 500
what
was
was
out.
pound for pound races.
Yeah. I've always wanted to do that one. Daytona 500's got to be up there. Yeah.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Oh, Belmont Stakes coming up.
Belmont Stakes. Kentucky
Wait, but
Derby's
you
a good
mean
race.
like
Decor.
race cars, like
races?
races?
Pound for
Yes.
pound races.
Rick, what are you getting at?
What are you trying to? We did.
Wow, I haven't heard the Conor laugh drop with Ariel. That's great.
We did kung fu movies. We did French things. Wasn't your number one French thing Daft Punk?
That sounds about right.
Oh my God! Do you remember when we did pound for pound Chicago's?
Wait,
Chicago
what?
things. It was Chicago things.
Things from Chicago.
Yeah. No, not things from Chicago. It was Chicago things. Because then I did.
You did Chicago.
Chicago PD, Chicago the
Yeah.
musical, Chicago Fire.
The music group.
What was the one that Frank said that it was like pound for pound and his included like a soundtrack and a movie?
That was
Perfect
duos.
Parents.
Yeah, perfect duos.
We did.
And somehow I
got
got shit for Batman and Robin. That was a weird one. I didn't understand that.
pound for pound ESPN era things, nicknames.
Give me a fucking break.
We did pound for pound hot sauces. Jesus. In honor of Dustin Poirier. Fuck, man. Good times.
I enjoyed that one, though.
Good times on this show, man.
Please like and subscribe. for
Like,
more.
rate, review, subscribe, and just know.
Look out for that pound for pound races coming soon.
Rick. Why are you
We'll see you in
shitting on the
HR
races?
tomorrow, bro. Is he shitting on races?
It
Rick,
sure
just give
sounds
us a
like it.
preview of your list, please. A preview of your list, Rick.
So number 1, Daytona 500. Like
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Number
Yeah,
2,
you get it.
I'm running out of races here. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Someone said pound for pound roads.
The 100-meter dash.
Someone said pound for pound people with one name. Yeah, I threw that one out there. It would have been cool. It would have been cool.
Wrong as you, number 1, number 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Nah, number 2 is a Richie Lang. Pound for pound cured meats.
Why?
Pound for pound rooms to get locked in.
Jesus.
Yeah, shout out.
I mean, what's it called? Backrooms is coming out. We could do that. Shout out to Backrooms. I'm excited for that.
We're going to figure something out.
Scary movies coming out. We should do something with that.
No, did we do horror movies already? No, we did spooky movies for Halloween.
Yeah. Either way, many more shit pound for pound lists
We'll
to
know
come.
what we did when intern Josh and intern Jack take care of.
Pound for pound shit as well. That'll be one that we're going to get to. Frankie, we got any voicemails, man?
Shit.
We didn't do that one already?
Ahoy, ahoy. This list.
Frank, I feel like you got to play both these messages because I rambled.
Yeah,
and I
play 'em
talked
both.
about your mom's rear end, so I apologize for that. But once again, I just want to say shout out to everybody there. Last thing.
Last thing.
How you guys have not put Cody Garbrandt's "Hanging with the Boys" in the soundboard yet for your show in particular shocks me. So just throw that in there. That is a
Yeah, man, it's your world.
clip from MMA lore. So shout out to y'all, and yeah, love y'all. Hope to hear from me more. Sorry I'm not a big personality, but I just want to get my thoughts out. So love everything you guys do. Shout out once again.
Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate the call.
Super nice.
This is the first time I've ever actually wanted a submitted soundbite to be taken in.
I'm down.
This is the first recommendation. Hanging with the Boys is an all-time clip with the Cody Garbrandt.
But fight is a fight, you know?
No, it's better than this.
Ah!
Hanging with the Boys. Hanging with the Boys.
Boys in the back, this is Sal.
Sal. What's up, Sal?
I run Hail Mary Vintage. I'm based in Vegas. When you all come down here for International Fight Week,
shout out.
I want to hook both you up and even the peeps in the back with their very own vintage tee. I got sportswear, I got band tees, anything you could think of.
Say less.
If you want to go vintage MMA tees, let me know what you're looking for, and I'll take care of you. Thanks, y'all. I love the show. My kid loves the show. Go ahead and get it. Take care.
These are the kind of calls I appreciate. Keep them coming.
We're in.
Just love free stuff. Hail Mary Vintage, a
will be
highly
there.
popular local Las Vegas purveyor of nostalgic, retro, and vintage sportswear. Notably known for sourcing iconic pieces like classic Las Vegas Raiders and UNLV Rebels gear. I am fucking in.
We will see you there.
What's up, boys? This is Trevor.
What's up, Trevor?
Detroit. I stumbled upon the show trying to mosey my way out of being obsessed with politics, and
welcome,
couldn't be happier. I've been listening in every day, basically, since I've tuned over. I've followed Ariel for a long time. Just wanted to say this is the part of the week I look forward to the most.
Sick.
GC, you're hilarious. Frank, you're all right. And Rick, I think you get too much hate.
Thank you.
That's all, boys. Love from Detroit.
Shout out, man. Shout out to Detroit, man. Motown, the big breadstick, Little Caesars Arena. Great spot, man. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the call. And thanks for being on board, man. We appreciate it more than you know. Rate, review, subscribe.
Hey, guys. It's Keanu from Sydney. I called up a couple weeks ago and
What's up, brother?
Asked Connor to blind rank Nightmare Blunt rotations. Seemed like you guys really liked it. And I'm
did
glad
like
you found
that.
it funny. Hearing you guys laugh honestly put a massive smile on my face. It kind of gave me the feeling like when you hear your mum laugh, or like the moan she makes when you kiss her on the arm. Today I just wanted to ask a couple of questions to the gang. So
Yes.
the first one is for the boys.
Okay.
Me and my mates are starting up a podcast. It's three of my mates, best mates. The main topic will be the NRL rugby league, but we also want to incorporate life and film and music and stuff. And like for context, the NRL and the AFL are the two most viewed sports in Australia. So I just wanted to ask if you had any tips for doing so, any peeves, things to avoid when it comes to podcasting. The second one is for Frank. Frank, I consider myself a bit of an audiophile as well, and I know probably nowhere near the level that you are, but I just wanted to say, like, I'm not even joking here. I actually do really appreciate your love and like passion for audio, music, synths, like even mixing on albums. And I just wanted to ask you, any tips or recommendations for microphones, dynamic mics, condenser mics, things like that. I think that was pretty much it for you, Frank. And for Andy, actually for Frank, also, delete this one, Frank. Delete it. I'll go again.
I have plenty of recommendations.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Wait, what are they, Frank? Hold on. Do you actually have recommendations for him?
Yeah, but we'll offline about it.
Okay, we'll offline.
Wait, you'll offline with him?
Yeah.
Our
I
recommendations.
got the phone number right here.
You're calling him up. All right. Wow, that's weird.
Our recommendations, he said, like, talking about, like, weaving in life and movies and everything like that.
I guess if he's starting a podcast, what's the way?
I think it's exactly that. You have to weave it in. You have to make the conversation not so serious about NRL and AFL and everything like that, and just weave it in.
I also think you just have to do it.
Yeah.
Of
course.
The fear of like this is not good enough, this is not perfect is going to stop you from like going, and you're going to feel like, how do we improve this? It's not good enough yet. Blah blah blah. Just keep doing it. Every day you'll learn something new, and you'll improve and improve and improve. Don't worry about how polished the final product is until you're like at a real level where you need to be concerned about that. If you're just starting out, just like keep going. Then maybe in a little bit of time assess and be like, hey, what do we need to do to improve this? But for now, just like volume. Get them out. Be consistent. Speaking of rugby, shout out to our Sydney Swans.
In second right now.
I know those fuckers at Fremantle. Don't love it.
Fuck.
Fremantle's goated.
What did you?
No, what? Fuck you.
Is that your team?
Damn straight it is. They sent me some merch.
What?
Also, F the Geelong Cats. Our boy Long Island Luke likes them, and I don't, because we're Sydney Swans lifers.
But yeah, you want to use a dynamic mic for your podcast?
No, offline them. Go ahead. Next.
I just had a quick question. Ariel was talking about how his dad is like an immigrant from Egypt a couple episodes ago, and how he like really wasn't interested in sports and stuff growing up. And it made me think about like you guys' rents and like what they were rents as in parents and like what they were like growing up. So like I mean, Connor, I know your dad's like super into train, shout out, also a bit of a train nerd myself, but other than that, like what were you guys' parents like growing up? Frank, were your parents taking you to like super cool art shows and shit, or like what was the deal? Anyways, What's up, guys? Peace.
Ended with the "What's up, guys?" Respect. I like that.
Yeah, at the end.
My parents, my dad loved trains.
I'm just glad about the clarification that he didn't mean like rents we paid.
Yeah,
that actually made me sweat a
appreciate that.
second.
Yeah, appreciate. I'm with you, Frankie. I was quite nervous about that. Excuse me. My parents were like kind of just like dorky Southern people when I was growing up. Like they're very
strict or not strict, or somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. I was like the bad apple of the three kids, so they actually got stricter as we.
Oh, that's
went along.
interesting.
Yeah, they were very strict with me near the end of my high school career. Yeah, went to the office quite a bit back in middle school and high school. You know, a little bit of a misbehavior, but it is what it is. Look how we turned out. I mean, they were just chill. They liked to. My dad is obsessed with trains. Anytime we would go on vacation, he would be like, "Well, got to go see the depot." He was also like a real estate lender, like a commercial real estate lender. And he'd be like, "Got to go look at this subdivision." He'd be like, "Oh, fuck. Trains and subdivisions." And then, my mom they're both just big chillers. That's about the only way to put it. They just chill a lot.
But they weren't too lax. They weren't like just letting you do whatever you want.
They weren't lax in the sense of like they don't work and they're not strict and they're not like pushing me to do things. But like in terms of like activities, they enjoy like traveling and chilling on the back porch and like sipping on wine and stuff.
Gotta respect it.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely, compared to New York, they live very slow lives, slow-paced lives. Like anytime I go down there, I'm just like, "So what you guys doing today?" And it's just like, my dad loves yard work. I did so much yard work growing up. I haven't done any since moving to New York, but like every weekend, dad's just like, leaves, got to be raked, mow the lawn, water this, do that, fix this fence.
And then we're going to see the subdivision.
And then we got to go look at a subdivision. It's just like, God damn.
My dad was really into smoking because he went out for cigarettes and we never saw him again.
Classic. Before or after you kissed your mom on the ass?
It was actually after. I never really connected
Explains
those dots
everything.
before.
Yeah.
But
Explains
damn.
everything now. Explains everything.
My dad, I think it has become lore in the show in terms of him liking magic. I think we have mentioned that at various points and also related to our trip to the Magic Castle. But he would take me around to like to see like really good magicians in like these magicians conferences and things like that, which was a lot of fun. My dad is an avid watcher of the show, of super like loving, sturdy, steady backbone guy, but from a generation of like not a lot of like I love yous when I was a kid, like more of like a firm handshake type of upbringing. Now in later years, me and my dad are very like that. Now that I'm a grown man with my own kids, and he's very lovey-dovey with the grandkids.
The sex.
But it was more rigid, more disciplined. He's also a military man. He was in the Air Force. So very like straight down the line type of dude, but very reliable. Always there when I needed him. My mom, from a German household, and my mom was very academically focused with me. She wanted me to be successful and had me on that path, and was like very concerned about how I was doing in school, and made me like really work my ass off to be good at school. Unfortunately, that kind of like went away by high school, but she wanted me to like be something and do something and not just kind of like waste my life and waste my time. So she was hard on me to that extent, but then again, later in life, now she's become a lot more soft. Like it's one of those things where my parents they had me on the straight and narrow for a while, and now that it's much later, they've got grandkids and things, they're like full hands off, loosey goosey, the fun grandparents, not at all like the tightwads that they were.
Yeah, I think above all else, I just had two really good parents. That's what it
good
comes
parents.
down to,
Good parents.
Great parents.
Andy, Jordan, anything to add? Worth sharing? Don't care?
Yeah, I mean, I love my parents. The way we kind of grew up was like we were expected to do good in school and like focus on that. My dad didn't even want me to start working until, I was like much later, like about to be out of high school, and I was like, "Dad, please, for God's sakes, I need to go get a job."
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I love my parents still. My mom is they're very into arts. So we grew up with like a lot of arts and television and stuff like that around us. And I think that really helped kind of, they were a little looser and allowed us to kind of express ourselves however we wanted, which I loved.
Very nice. Okay.
Hey guys, it's Connor calling from Torrington, Connecticut. I was just listening to y'all last BITB on this Thursday, and y'all were talking about how Khabib was not making enough money in the UFC, and how Dana was saying that he made too much money on the tour, and that's why he didn't come back. And I was just thinking about it because I don't feel like anyone else brings up the other side of this, which is if you pay the fighters what you guys think they, like, quote unquote deserve, how much people are making in the NFL and all that, with the gouged ticket prices that we're already experiencing where normal fans can't even afford to go anywhere, the ads are insane, the prices for everything are just going to go way up even more than they already do because of the profit sharing that the UFC already has in effect. So it would require a complete restructuring of the entire system of the UFC where profit went mostly to the fighters and the UFC would have to take a huge loss. So I feel like no one ever talks about that part. Yes, it's important that fighters get paid more, but also if they just all of a sudden got paid a lot more the way things are right now, the fans would be the ones who severely suffered even more than they already are. So just wanted to kind of throw my hat in that because I feel like no one ever talks about it. Love you guys. Love BITB. Peace.
Appreciate the call, brother. Love you as well. Thank you for the support, man. I just disagree from the standpoint I don't think the fans would be on the hook for it because as we talked about earlier with the ticket thing, like eventually fans will just stop paying for the prices. We're not paying $3,500 to see Pantoja versus Steve Erceg at UFC 301. Like they're just not going to pay for that. And like when you say the UFC would take a loss, they wouldn't actually be taking a loss. They would still be generating hundreds of millions, if not billions of profit. They would be taking a loss of their expectations of what they want to earn, what they're telling their shareholders that they're going to earn, everything like that. I agree with everything you're saying. They're not going to do this because, as Ronda Rousey said, as Eric said earlier, they are a business. This is not a fight promotion on how quality of a product can we put on. It is how much money can we possibly make.
Yeah, and they're publicly traded, and that's their responsibility to shareholders. Like, that is just the reality of the situation. You said it perfectly. The part, I agree with many of the things he said. The part that I disagree with is that the company needs to take a loss. That's just objectively false. Like, the company can, the money, you're suggesting that there has to be a shift in the business model and there has to be a shift in the money. That is 100% accurate. You are right about that. But what you're suggesting the shift is that they're transferring that cost to the fans. When in reality, that cost can be transferred to the UFC's profits. They can make less profit per year. They can still make a nice amount of profit, but less profit per year. And the fighters can be compensated accordingly. And then they will take less for themselves. As an example, the NFL is a hugely profitable business, way more profitable than the UFC. They share more with their athletes. So there's an objective truth that, like, you can still give the fighter, the athletes in your sport or in your league, in the case of the NFL, a significant amount of your profits, a significant amount of your revenue rather, and still be extremely profitable. The UFC has that opportunity. It's not that they are facing a situation where if they were to pay the athletes commensurate with the pay of other organizations, at least from a percentage perspective, not from an overall raw number or gross or total perspective, they would still be able to have very, very high level of profit. They'd still be a very profitable company. It would just be less so. And there's only so much we can advocate for that to be the case, and also acknowledge that it will never be the case unless the fighters fight for it. So it is what it is. But the mechanism by which you're offsetting the costs, I think, is a little bit incorrect in terms of where the expectation would be. The expectation would be take less for yourselves at a TKO level, at an Endeavor level. As I said, the NFL as a league, not a publicly traded company, but as a league, is a very, very profitable endeavor, and the athletes make a significantly higher percentage of the revenue.
Yeah, and just like the loss thing, you see these.
It would not be a loss.
You see these massive companies. Walmart is down year over year 2% or whatever. It's just like, oh, but they still generated $100 billion in revenue. Like it's just like I had a friend who actually used to work at the NFL, and like they would be like, like we're pacing out to be down 0.8% or whatever, and it's just like, okay, well you generated $25 billion in revenue. It's just like. The ultimate goal for the UFC is to make as much money as possible right now instead of being as quality of a product and the greatest fight promotion in the world. Like, it's just how can we make as much money as possible? Money is the ultimate goal for them. It is not about putting on the best fights. It is not about being the highest quality promotion. I think they've made that clear. And Dana White, shut the fuck up and watch the fights. Like, there it is. There it is right there. Shut the fuck up, give us your money, and watch it or don't. We don't give a shit.
They are obligated by being a public company, which is very unique, right? The NFL, the NBA, these are not public companies. They are obligated to make that happen. So they're in a very different position. The UFC is not a stock, but TKO, the combination of the UFC and WWE, is a stock. And previously, WWE was a stock on its own. That is a mission. That is something that they owe this to the people that are shareholders of their company. That is very different than the NFL. And even in that scenario, we're looking at a completely different model. So different situation, but I think we're on the same page, and hopefully that answers your question. And the expectation, at least from my end, or I imagine many others who suggest this, would be that the UFC just takes less profit.
Yeah, and I would feel zero sympathy for doing so if you made a better product.
Hey, boys. Tom from Jersey, and I'm just listening to your episode from last week, and just got done listening to the Ick pound for pound, and
it's a great one.
I was actually thinking about sending Rick an email this week to see if you guys are hiring, and I was going to send him my resume. But I don't think you guys would like me very much. I call people buddy when I meet them for the first time. I'm a chronic oversharer on social media, and yes, I'm just going to go fuck myself. Have a good day, guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
This is so great.
Thanks, Tom. Got ahead of that, and you got out in front of it. We appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Do not send that email.
You did the work for us.
Yeah.
We don't need to see the resume that you would overshare details about yourself. Thanks so much, man.
What's up, boys in the back? This is the Smoking Ace Maverick coming at you from San Jose, California.
Fuck yeah, what's up, Smoking Ace?
I just want to say, man, I think it's really cool. You guys are planning on sponsoring the Iowan Lion. That's dope. Hope
Patches have been ordered.
Boys in the back patch. I'm remembering back in the days at old school UFC when people still had sponsors on their shorts.
Yep.
There was some people that had the worst placement of a sponsor. The condom depot across their ass.
It's tough.
Horrible idea. I don't know who told them that was a good idea to do.
Yeah. We're talking
Tell
about it.
the Iowan Lion to not wear a boys in the back patch across his ass. Worst placement ever.
That's what you said.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Put it across the front of your thigh. Do not put it across your ass. Worst choice. All right, guys. Love what you guys do. Keep it up. By the way, guys, Billy Zane was not in The Mummy. Look it up. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Did we say Billy Zane was in The Mummy?
I said that.
Okay.
And he's right.
All right. Nailed it.
I was thinking of some other guy.
Appreciate the call, brother. Thank you so much. I actually disagree. We were thinking, I do agree, boys in the back, not on the ass. We put that on the crotch, boys in the back, and then across the ass is our three faces like you see them down below. So that's on the ass.
I have given absolutely zero instruction to the Iowan Lion. All I have said is we were sending the patches. Do we need to, or do we let him just choose and laugh about whatever the outcome is?
What we are going to send him is two different patches. One that's this logo right here in the corner, the BITB. So if you just look, we'll look down at that one. Yeah, that one right there. We sent him the BITB. And then we sent him the gold uncrowned. So here's the issue. You had to do a minimum order of like 12 patches.
Okay.
They weren't the cheapest things on earth. No reason to send the Iowan Lion 24 patches for his shorts. So we had to ship them here first, and then I'm going to send them to him. His fight He leaves in like 3 weeks. So I'm praying as soon as they get here, I will mail them off to the Iowan Lion, and hopefully on that LFA card, we'll be watching the boys in the back and uncrowned on his shorts.
But what if he puts it on his ass?
Even better. It's not going to work though on his ass. It's just like a square patch.
Okay.
You'd be surprised what you can make work.
Yo, boys in the back. It's Jimmer.
Jim.
So, I don't know, man. I think you guys might have to start calling me Mystic Mac.
Uh-oh.
Because I predict these things. I was fucking dead on with that prediction. But
nailed it.
Anyways,
It was in
I got a
Ghana.
question this week.
It was
It's an
Dana
NBA
announcing
question. I'm
during
sorry,
Ghana.
there's just no MMA going on. I don't know what to ask about MMA. So, if you guys could draft from all time, any player all time, the beginning of their career, it's just we'll put all players into one draft pool and you can draft, we'll just say a top 3. What would your top 3 be? And this can include Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Larry Bird, anybody, LeBron.
Easy.
If you had to guess, if all players were entered into one talent pool, who would be your top 3?
Easiest.
Anyways,
question.
love you guys. Deuces.
Michael Jordan.
Yep, he's on mine.
LeBron James.
He's on mine.
And then for my third, Kareem?
Not a bad one.
Who are you going with for 3?
Shaquille O'Neal. Easy. Done.
Oh, I like that. Get the dominant big man. Yeah.
Shaq, Jordan, LeBron. Those are the 3. To me, those are the 3 best players in NBA history.
Yeah.
I know Shaq is not considered that.
The dominance he had at his peak.
He was an unfuckwithable guy.
Yeah. He was so fucking good with the Lakers.
Yeah.
And
Shaq, MJ, LeBron.
Sick.
I'd hear a Wemby convo from somebody at this point.
We got to see what happens.
Yeah.
Got to see if he stays alive after tonight.
Hey guys, it's Mark here. I just wanted to shout out the boys in the back.
Appreciate you.
GC, going through that MMA training session was inspired, man.
Hey.
I feel like so few would have been willing to video that too, but you did it.
Yeah, got
New
my
York
ass
Rick,
beat.
shout out for willingly putting yourself to sleep. The last
Crazy.
time you had a nap that good was probably watching Lord of the Rings, am I right? And lastly, I wanted to shout out the pound for pound X list. I really thought it was hilarious first off, but specifically New York Rick's list. I wanted to point out that Frank seems to be everything on Rick's list. Complainer, oversharer, too cool, rude to staff, says ick a lot. You know, that feels on brand. Is there a problem here? Thanks for making the bad days better and the good days great, guys. Peace.
My man, what a call. Concise, to the point.
Very funny.
That was good shit.
The X list went over big.
I knew it would, man. There's a couple of them. When I have them, I know I have them.
If we had Frank on it, I think that would have been a supernova. Like that would have been one of our top pound for pound.
Would have been one of the best. Thanks for calling, Frank. We appreciate it, man. Hope the float stuff's all right.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
I hope you got it back. Sure, man.
Do we do okay? How about this for pound? Fuck, should we have done that this week?
Frank
should we
had
have
to give us
redone
his
the yes?
pick, yeah.
Was she? Fuck.
Retroactively, you give us any off the top of the dome?
This is not the dongs list, Frank. We're talking about the. Okay.
Yo, what's good, boys in the back? Woke front bench and everyone in between.
Shout out.
It's your boy Ski, long time, first time. I'm going to try to make this quick.
Nailing it
I
so
would like
far.
to hear some of your thoughts. So first off, spoiler alert for any Star Wars nerds that are out there that like want to see Mandalorian and Grogu. Looking at you, Frank. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so there's a relevant role in this film. I haven't heard anybody talk about it, so I just wanted to hear what you guys have to say about it. There is a bald asshole fight promoter in the movie. A character, bald asshole fight promoter, and he is looking to screw over his star fighter, who is, get this, he's 2 fights away from the end of the deal.
Oh shit!
There's also a punchline in the movie about you're an independent contractor. So it sounds to me like they're referencing some familiar territory, maybe trying to send a message, but who's to check?
Who is the check? Okay, interesting.
Yo, does somebody at Lucas or Disney like know ball like that?
It sounds like a direct Conor McGregor reference.
And Dana White.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, you have to go so hard on the bald, you know.
The way he
fat dickhead, bald promoter. I was like, all right, man. He's just like, yeah, and he's just such a dick. He's bald.
I don't remember hearing it that way, but I guess I wouldn't, right?
What were you telling me, Frank? Your barbers, like they identify people. They're just like the bald one.
Exactly. I was like, hey, I met Billy Corrigan the other day. He's like, who's that? I'm like, the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins. He's like, the bald one? I'm
It's
like,
the identifier.
Yeah. And then, not but 10 minutes later, the barber next to him was talking to his client. And he's like, I don't know who that is. He's like, oh, sure you do. And he's like, oh, the bald one. And I was just like, is this how you guys remember?
Okay.
That's always the identifier.
In their defense,
Sure.
their business is hair. Does that change anything?
No.
That's what I said. And then they were like, nah, that's the only musician I know that's bald.
They were like, nah.
We just
That's
hate
the only
bald guys.
man I know that's bald. I was walking through the park yesterday, and some kid with a giant afro was like, hey, man, I like your hair. And, like, I kind of looked at him and I was like, huh? And, like, I think he felt bad. And he was like, I mean, like, their beard, like, I like it. I was just like, thanks, man. I like your hair, too. I was like, was that just a sympathy compliment? Are you just 7-year-old kid?
7?
Yeah, it felt like he was digging at me first.
When you told me this story before,
Okay.
I thought you said when you were 7 or 8.
No.
And then when you were like, I was like, but you, anyway. This all makes
Okay,
sense now.
I have a story from when I was young.
Okay.
Not 7 or 8, but this has sparked this in my head.
Okay.
Now, that was actually all the voicemails, so keep going.
Oh, is it actually all the voicemails?
Yes.
That was a good one to end on.
Speaking of my mom, I was on the subway with my mom,
Okay.
and I must have been. So she must have been. Okay, I must have been under 5 because she was taking me to preschool. Because by the time I started kindergarten, I went to kindergarten. My mom wouldn't have taken me. My dad would have drove me. So I must have been, let's call it like 3 or 4, right? Because I could talk, and you'll see why in this story that this is important. But I was not in school yet. So I must have been 3 or 4. Or on the subway with my mom, and I have never seen a bald man before. It just was not something I'd seen in my life to that point. I get on the subway, and I asked my mom, why does that man have no head? Because I didn't know words for it. I just said that. And he heard me and was like apparently very nice to me. Like explaining like
most of us are, you know. Too afraid to approach us.
But yes, I asked why the man had no head, and my mom was horrified, and then the man was very nice to me. But yeah, 7's a little too old to be like out in public just like asking people shit like that.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
he was definitely trying to shit on me for sure. That's tough.
But he liked your beard.
You disarmed him.
Yeah, pound for pound, bald dudes. That's not a bad one.
Well,
shout out to all my bald brothers out there. Hang in there. One day
I give a shit, so give us a fucking answer, Baldy.
I'm down for bald dudes because I mean I think it would be a badass list. But when do we do it? What is the inspiration?
We
Who's
could've
coming
done
up
it
that we could do it?
last weekend
Maybe
with
Volk.
Jason and
Volk.
Yeah, we could have done it with Statham.
Okay, is it bald beard? Does it have to be combo bald beard?
It's a quality combo. I do like the bald one is a good nickname actually. When you're not saying it like, look at the bald one, you're saying like the bald one, like a you know what I'm
There's
saying?
prestige to it.
Yeah, I'm like, he's coming, the bald one. Like that's all they're known by.
Yes.
The bald one. Not like, look, the bald one. Like it's like the great one.
Yes.
The bald one. The chosen one.
I was gonna start saying who I think are the top tiers, but maybe we do the list. I think there's some good ones on that.
Yeah. Stone Cold. Yeah, got to be up
Fuck.
there. Rock got to be up there. Goldberg.
Statham.
Yeah.
Connor Burks.
Yeah, that's pound for pound uno. Number 1. All right, thanks for all the voicemails. Really appreciate all the calls as always, guys. Any super chats?
yeah, tormented.tec, longtime fan of the sport, UFC 66. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Dan Severn went to my high school. Dad is best buds with his brother. Never loved the sport more than when I found this show. Keep killing it, boys. Trevor.
Damn, shout out to you, Trevor. You've been around for a minute.
Dan Severn is like he's a man's fucking man. That's like elite tier gangster, old school dude.
My man.
My man. UFC fighter, catch wrestler. WWE had a stint in WWE. He's like a hard man, like a real like man's man. Don
All-time
Fry,
stash.
yeah, Don Fry type dude.
UFC 66. 2006. My man's been around for a minute. Chuck Liddell versus
Shout out
Steve
to Dan
Ortiz,
Severn.
too. Shout out to you, Trevor. Thanks for the $10, man.
Romeo Dalb Stan. Reminder that Bo Nickel claims he can read minds.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that video. He was like on a thing where he was like, I just always have these intuitions. And then like I asked my training partners, like, were you just thinking XYZ? And they're like, yeah, I was.
Isn't that just like,
I don't know,
pattern recognition?
I don't know. Sixth Sense.
Oz Perlman also can't read minds. Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news.
Turns out he can? What is the news?
No, I just said breaking news, so
news,
Frank. Just, but you got to be careful when you say breaking news. Frank just hits it.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Screech into a hole. We're talking about Oz Perlman.
Oh yeah,
and Pablo.
I feel like I have a sixth sense.
You feel like you do?
There's times where I'm like,
breaking news. Conor has a sixth sense.
I knew that the breaking news sounder was going to get hit. Yeah, there's times where I'm waiting on I'll be like waiting on a text from someone. I'll be like, oh, I wonder when they're going to text me back. And then I'll be like, ding.
Okay, so are you saying you understand Bo Nickal' like feeling that?
I'm saying it happens seconds before it happens. It's almost just like, maybe it's just the waves hitting my brain first.
I've also
from
suspected
the
that.
satellite, frying it out.
You suspected that you feel that, or you suspected that he feels that?
No, specifically Conor, because like all of a sudden I'll see him like do a weird wink thing, and I'm like, oh, his phone's about to go off, and then ding.
There have been way too many times in my life, or like I'll be chilling at home.
He winks at you, and then
he
his
doesn't
phone
wink.
chimes.
It's like he's having like a spasm of sorts.
Yeah, I'll piss my pants and then I'll get a text. There'll be times where I'll be like sitting at home and like my roommate's gone, and then I'm just like, oh, I wonder when they're gonna get back. Within 3 seconds,
Oh, they come back in the door.
the keys are rattling in the door. I'm just like, oh, what the fuck?
Better put my pants back.
How do we test this?
There's no way to test it.
There has to be a way to test
I
it.
just texted him.
Because like right now, I don't feel anything coming in.
Next time you feel something, say it so we can. Oh!
Yeah. We'll put this to the test one day.
I love it. I'm interested in this. This is
Frank, I didn't
normal.
receive a text.
Damn, he's so good.
Oh, I didn't feel anything, man. The sixth sense didn't go off. All right. Anything else, Frank?
Benjamin Turk, 1840. What is the deal with Sam Calvita training? He seems to only try to kill these guys in the gym, and it isn't translating into wins besides for Armin.
Yeah.
That's that bullshit.
The guys seem to love him that train with him.
100%.
They seem to be in an insane shape. But like, yeah, there is kind of a list of dudes that it feels like they may have been overtrained going into the fight.
But is that on him? Like, this is I've always thought that the nutritionist, like I have the secret guy thing has always been a little bit dicey in the MMA space. If no other reason than the fact that like, what works for one guy is not always going to work for another guy. If it's working for Armin, that's great, but it might not work as well for this. But then you have a guy like Khamzat, where now it sounds like he wasn't even working with Sam, and he was doing something else and had some weight problems. So now is it a Khamzat discipline issue? I never know what to kind of make of this. I ultimately think that most of these guys, including Sam, are good at their jobs, motivated to try to make these athletes perform at their best. Sometimes they hit the mark, sometimes they miss the mark the same time, the same way that the athletes in the fight sometimes hit the mark, sometimes miss the mark, or in the preparation, in the sparring, in the whatever. These things are such a mixture of different things. It can never be perfectly calibrated. There's no perfect camp, perfect cut, perfect this, perfect that, perfect fight performance. We heard Malcolm Wellmaker talk about it, to call back to the show. He's like, this was the greatest camp I've ever had. The performance didn't match that. There's so many things that go into this. So basically what I'm saying is like, I imagine Sam Calvita is pretty good at his job, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't think that there's like a secret formula or a guru who's like, I can do anything. I'm the best at everything. I just don't believe that.
I think that's a good way to break it down.
So Max Rabkin says, and bear with me here, comparison.
Okay.
Chicago to Abu Dhabi.
Chicago to Abu Dhabi. Okay.
To attend UFC 242 in 2019. Habib's last fight with fans. Did he fight the fans? See, this is what I'm confused about. All in cost 4 days, $1,250. Saw Bilal get a bonus and flew back sitting same row as him without the sex.
Wait, what's the name of the guy from Dagestan?
Matt.
Yeah, so is this possibly him?
Okay, so
no, he doesn't live in Chicago. He made that clear last week.
Actually. Chicago to Abu Dhabi. No, he went to Abu Dhabi. He was.
I'm saying I thought this might have been Max from Dagestan, who's a fan and obviously lives in the States. But last week I said, isn't he from like the Midwest? And he's like, fuck you, I'm not from the Midwest. I'm from Boston or some shit. Anyway, put that back up. Let's do the math on this. All right.
Okay, $1,250 for 4 days. That feels hard to believe.
Yeah, I don't actually.
You got tickets, a flight, and a hotel for $1,250 for that. Shit.
I guess the tickets were probably pretty cheap, if I had to guess.
Yeah. 200.
Chicago to Abu Dhabi is probably also not a very popular route.
Which 600, maybe. You're definitely not getting that now. I'll also say I saw someone be like, "Oh, I got McGregor Habib tickets lower level for 800."
Yeah, that was a decade ago.
Yeah.
Duh. Like obviously.
Yeah, you ain't getting that for now.
Max is in the chat saying, "No, I'm a different guy." LOL.
Nah, we love you, Max.
We knew.
Shout
out, Max.
Personal stash 420. If Ronda is going to fight a real fighter, let's have it beat Dakota.
That will not happen.
No chance of that happening.
Weight classes,
the weight classes are
age,
way up.
everything.
That doesn't feel like a bigger fight than Holly Holm or Chris Cyborg or Kayla Harrison. Dakota Ditcheva is on a different path. Like she should be fighting the best now, not the best of yesteryear. Like that's not what I want for Dakota. And also
fighting Denise Kielholtz.
Yeah.
Get her a title fight. Get her to the UFC.
Title fight. Fuck that. Get her in the UFC.
Get her
the
to
fights for her in the UFC.
Bro, I'm tired of seeing her as a minus 3,500.
PFL made her what she is.
No doubt.
They deserve a lot of credit for making Dakota Ditcheva a very lucrative, potentially lucrative and marketable and sought after, desired MMA fighter. They did a great job with her. There is a point where after doing that, your thinking is, well, we made her. Let's keep her. Let's keep pushing her. She is all these things. When in reality, she cannot be the best version of herself in your promotion. The best version of Dakota Ditcheva is the one that is fighting the best flyweights on the planet, and the best flyweights on the planet exist exclusively in the UFC. There is not a deep enough roster with the PFL to keep her busy and give her enough like high level fights. And so I think that the best thing for both parties would actually be Dakota going to the UFC. I know it doesn't seem like that for PFL, and I imagine that business-wise, they have to be thinking, we can capitalize on her, we can keep her, we can do it, but you're not going to give her the number of fights. In fact, it reminds me very much of Francis Ngannou. Like, you can't sustain a one-sided thing. There just isn't enough talent. You don't have the heavyweights to sustain Francis. You don't have the flyweights to sustain Dakota Ditcheva.
There's just not enough competition for her.
It would be best if they let her go. Maybe there's like a signing bonus or something they can say like, hey, we will trade her. Let's trade her to the UFC, get something valuable in return and call it a day. But I can't imagine that they're gung-ho about doing that. I imagine that they're probably thinking, we can do it. But you don't have the flyweights for it. Denise Kielholtz is not an opponent for Dakota Ditcheva that we care about.
Not even close.
Breezy says, guys, Frank kind of sounds like Huey from The Boys. Did any of you watch the finale? If so, what did you think of it?
Rick did.
I watched it. The Boys was very good in the first few seasons, and like all television, and the reason why I don't invest myself in television is eventually it becomes self-parody. It becomes a derivative of itself, and you're chasing this thing where it's like The Boys became a version of what people think of The Boys as opposed to what The Boys was in the beginning. It wasn't horrible like, say, Stranger Things, which, Jesus Christ, what a fucking horrible finale that was, and what a horrible final season that was. This was more palatable and not like super bad. Like the finale itself did enough fan service and paid off enough of the storylines that like it was like a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10. But I am glad that The Boys is over. Like it has run its course.
I feel like a lot of these shows lately have not been able to land stick the dismount on these endings.
TV is very difficult.
MASH?
Yeah.
Breaking Bad.
I mean, Breaking Bad's a great one. The Wire,
Wire's
Sopranos.
That was controversial. Finale was but like that was a sitcom, so I didn't have that much expectation.
If just the finale sucks, that's different, right?
Yeah.
Versus like The last season of The Boys was just not as good as the beginning of The Boys. Straight up,
1000%.
end of story. Same for Stranger Things. Same for so many of the TV shows.
Legendary
Game of
show,
Thrones.
and then just like...
So Euphoria is going to be a banger.
Are you actually watching that? I am not.
I
Okay.
just see the little clips.
Yeah.
in there.
What kind of clips, Frank? What are you seeing of Euphoria?
Frank? Frank?
I don't have to answer that. Andy keeps me updated on what's going on.
Frank?
Yeah, machine guns this season. It can't be bad.
Cannons or
Luke
machine guns?
Hercules 9513 GC. Who do you have winning now? The French.
You
list a few names
Don't
I
ask
can't
me.
pronounce. Shout out
I'm
Sun,
thinking
Sinners,
Casper
Best Rival.
Ruud, but Zverev clearly... Hold on, put that back up. Zverev clearly has his greatest chance now. Shout out the Sun, Sinner's best rival. Yeah, man.
That's his name?
A lot of people talking about the Heat. Most of the match, it was sub 90. I understand it gets hotter on the court, and you're obviously doing physical activity, and like you're directly in the sun, but like your opponent wasn't struggling with it at all, and like you were dog walking and making him run around. So yeah, he has got to figure it out, man. He cramps up way too much. We've seen it happen to him at the Australian Open. We've seen it happen to him at Masters 1000s. Like he's got to get it together because he is like an all-time player. But like the sun is his arch nemesis. Daytime matches are his arch nemesis. Like you got to get that locked in.
This is kind of what I was saying about Khamzat in the weight cut.
Yeah.
It's like, you can blame that, right? If you're Sinner, you can be like, the sun, I had heat stroke. But if this keeps happening...
Like, bro, you got to figure this out, man.
You have to.
His level was so much higher than the other dudes today.
Yeah.
The first 2.99 sets of that match, up until it was 5-1, was how that match goes every time that they're playing in neutral conditions. He's got to get it together, man. It is
minus 10,000.
Also, it's crazy because this isn't an unknown. I saw someone tweet yesterday, like the Patrick like rubbing his hands together thing, and it was like Sinner has to play during the daytime.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's no. Carlos Alcaraz was interviewed about it, and he was just like, "Yeah, Sinner's gonna win as long as his body doesn't fail him."
Oh,
Like,
I
as
didn't
long
know
as he
that this
doesn't
was such a
fucking cramp up.
narrative heading in.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't. So why was he minus 10,000? Just because they were like, he's so fucking good, it doesn't matter.
Like the levels are just so much fucking higher.
I guess like if he was able to get to 2 sets up and then 5-1 in the final set, the thought is even if he has the worst meltdown ever, he can win one more game, and he just couldn't.
Also, very real chance. The later he gets in the tournament, the more he plays at night. So he doesn't even have to worry.
So they were
about
like, he'll get past this, and then you won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, like Djokovic, he's such a star. He is only playing at night at the U.S. Open. Like he's just gonna play at night, so he doesn't have to worry about that shit. Yeah. So like, the daytime really is a factor. Like if you're at the U.S. Open in August and like you're out on like court 17 and there's absolutely nothing to relent from the sun,
No shade, no
it's
nothing.
like a 98-degree day, and that's hard court too. So you're just like soaking in it. Like it's brutal, man. That's why like
opponent wasn't
Djokovic. That's my biggest thing. If the opponent is fine. Like if he's out there cramping too, then it is what it is. But like, dude, you're an all elite player. You need to handle it better. I actually don't mind that Casper Ruud pick. I saw the odds, and he's like plus 700. I'm not touching it because like the pressure is ratcheted up on all of them because this is a once in a lifetime. We're either seeing Djokovic's 25th or we're seeing a first time Grand Slam winner on the men's side. Ruud, I don't mind because he's great on clay court and he's been great this season. I saw him play in the French Open final against Nadal. Shout out. Nadal obviously came out victorious. Don't mind Ruud. Don't mind Djokovic just because of the level. Zverev is... It would be fucking crazy if Arsenal wins the Premier League after all the bottling accusations, and then a week later, 2 weeks later, Alexander Zverev gets his first Grand Slam.
He's known for it.
The biggest fucking choke artist on earth is Alexander Zverev.
No, I mean James Harden just played.
He chokes worse than this guy. He's been up 2 sets to love several times in Grand Slam finals and has blown it every time. Looked like he was going to get it in 2022, got hurt. Obviously, that's not choking, but like the Dominic Thiem match in 2020 at the U.S. Open final, being up 2 sets, having match point. Like, guy is all-time choke artist. So if he's able to get the first Grand Slam, that would be crazy. He's the favorite now. That means nothing. Zverev is bottler McGee. Like, he just loves choking.
I mean,
but we'll see if he can end that.
This was the book on Rory for a while, and then Rory has come through.
Yeah, man. At the Masters, at least.
People can turn it.
This is the chance.
This is the one.
But that's the nerves for Zverev. Is like, oh, fuck, this is the chance.
Now it's almost
he
like...
can't hang with Alcaraz and Sinner.
Now it's almost like more pressure. Like as if he was the underdog and somehow pulled off a miracle, you're not choking, you're going up. Now it's like, I'm supposed to win this.
Either way, if you don't watch tennis, I highly recommend tuning into the French Open. HBO Max, that's all you need is a subscription. Beautiful clay courts, Roland Garros, Paris. The men's and the women's are both wide open. It's going to be fantastic.
Who's the favorite in the women's?
Iga Swiatek.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a bit of a clay specialist. Her, Sabalenka, Coco Gauff. Highly recommend it. You want to make it interesting, throw a few shekels on it, but like a 5-setter in tennis, there's nothing better. Because what they always say, when you have a big lead, like kind of like the Cavs had, you can like try and milk that clock. In tennis, you gotta fucking finish the guy. And like Sinner couldn't do it. Pause on that, but Sinner could not end the match. Yeah, shout out to tennis. Too much tennis talk today, but fuck, man, we're getting into the Grand Slam season. It's a good time. It's a good time.
And lastly, Aussie Gaming 8472. Since GC said the UFC is going on a world tour, y'all could do pound for pound UFC locations globally and or pound for pound world tours in general. Shout out, boys in the back. Salute emoji.
That would be very meta doing my coined UFC World Tour. In honor of that, we're doing the pound for pound world tours.
Last week on the show, GC called it a world tour.
I don't mind dream cities that they have never been to that we want to see.
We did fantasy fight
Different
locations.
than fantasy, yeah.
But didn't fantasy fight locations, didn't someone say like Mars or something?
Yeah. We went crazy with it.
Did we do pound for pound fantasy fight locations?
Yeah.
I can't remember shit.
Yeah, you did
Josh,
the helipad.
get on that, man.
Josh,
I did the helipad?
Yeah, it was like Nadal and Federer played tennis
Yeah,
on that helipad.
yeah,
You said
yeah.
this fight up there would be
All right,
sick.
enough tennis talk, man. We got to shut the fuck
No,
up.
I'm into the tennis talk. Your passion for it is making me excited
I'm
about it.
telling you, tap in, man. The French Open's going to be great. At the very least, tap into the 2 finals next Saturday and Sunday.
I used to get up all the time early in the morning and watch tennis. Like I was a religious, turn on ESPN2, Mike and Mike, throw on tennis in the morning. And now that I don't watch TV like that anymore, I haven't seen tennis in years in that capacity. But I loved it.
Elite sport. One of my best memories, Roland Garros 2022. You can't bring beer into the stadium. You can only buy it at the concessions. And in between sets, I would just go out, get 3 beers, just shrugging it. Eiffel Tower off in the distance. Rafael Nadal playing.
Good time. Was it as hot as you're describing now? Okay. Because chugging beers in 100-degree heat does not sound fun.
To be clear, most of the match was 85.
Oh, really?
It peaked at 90.
Oh.
Now it's hotter down on the court and they're playing, so give them the respect, but also
get it together, brother.
You got to get it together, dude. It wasn't 112 or something.
Oy. All right.
Anything else, Frankie?
Nope.
All right. That'll do it for us here on the Boys in the Back. Nice weekend. BKFC, UFC Macau. Obviously, the crack tomorrow. Appointment viewing as Pizzi and the boys get you ready for the weekend. And then we're back. Shortened week here, Memorial Day weekend. Chop the day off for us. Alas. Next week, one more Apex card, and then it's White House week. I can't believe it's here. Feels like just 2 days ago, I was like, that shit ain't never happening. Alas. I got to piss really bad because we were locked in here, so see you next week.
You can stay, get your ass beat. You can stay, get your ass beat. Okay. You can stay, get your ass